I mean, this is a sport that's on the precipice of irrelevance.
The games are taking over 3.5 hours. Playoff games are taking over 4 hours.
Game's too long, too slow. Who cares?
This is a situation where baseball's in trouble to begin with.
I hate to break it to you, baseball's dead.
Baseball is dead.
That's what they said. They can rest in peace.
Welcome back. Welcome back, everyone. Episode 400. Wow, we did it. We made it. Yeah, everyone was like, wow, they're taking a hiatus and they're taking time off and this and that. And it's like, dude, we were just trying to get someone from the 400 Home Run Club to come on as a guest. And that's why we were holding off on episode 400. Did we get him? No, but it was just, it was because opening day happened.
People
we
are
were just
busy.
like, all right, fine, I get. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will
People
say
are
this
busy.
though, a big thank you to everyone. Like I'm sure that like maybe some people in my position would be like, man, that's fucking annoying. But I was blown away at how many people were like, where's BID? Like, I feel like the BID audience is more just like, we're chill. We're going to sit back and listen to our ball talk and then keep it moving. Maybe it's because it would make sense, right? Like Section 10 is regional. It's one specific team. So you get that one fan base that's rabid for that one team. So everyone's pissed off or everyone's happy. It's kind of like a universal thing. Whereas like BID, it's just like, we just want the ball talk. And I usually don't hear a ton from the BID audience, but during this hiatus, every day, dozens of times, if not hundreds of times, people being like, where's BID? So thank you guys for the support. We're very happy to be back. A big part of that, the return, is a big thanks to our brand new presenting sponsor, Kalshi. And if you haven't heard, Kalshi is the largest prediction market in the United States, and that lets you win money on thousands of different events, the weather, sports, reality TV, and more. You're not going up against the house with edges stacked against you. That's not how this works. It is peer-to-peer trading. That's like if me and Jay Hay was like, I don't think the A's are making the playoffs this year, and I'm like, I do think that the A's are making the playoffs this year. We're just trading against each other. There's no house involved here. It's my opinion versus Jay Hay's opinion, and then we put up our money where our mouth is. So it's real people, real opinions, real money, sports, pop culture. If it's happening, there is a market for it. It's available for everyone, everywhere, California, Texas, all 50 states. Download Kalshi, use the promo code BID. Trade $20 and they will hand you $20 back. Link is in the bio. Let's get into it. And the best part, like I said, Kalshi is available everywhere. California, Texas, no matter where you are, where you're watching from, you can get on this right now. Here's how it works. You pick an event, like say, will the A's win tonight? Or will the Yankees lose tonight? You can buy yes or no contract, and you are trading against other users who disagree with you. If you are right, you get paid. You can also jump in and out of your position anytime to lock in a win or cut a loss early. It's flexible, it is live, and it moves very fast. And they have combos. You can stack multiple predictions together and multiply your potential payout across completely different events. You can check out the app, super clean. You've got game markets, entertainment, futures on baseball-related topics, and anything else that you can think of. I know, Dallas, you're a big Bachelor guy, right?
Yeah, it's a tough, yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, you're right. That is a tough scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tough scene. Well, past seasons you've been a big fan of. Yeah, you could throw, like, let's say it was a couple of years ago, you could throw some money on who's going to win the Bachelor and who's going to win the World Series at the same time. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, yeah. And if you wanted to bet whether or not somebody was going to throw a chair at their child, you could have bet on that too, and that would have meant that you won, because that's why we're not going to get a God-blessed Bachelorette.
Yeah, gonna have to cut that part.
Whatever.
This is where putting your prediction on the line actually means something. New users, this is for you specifically. Download the Kalshi app, sign up with the promo code BID. Trade just $10 and they are going to drop $10 right back into your account. That is free money just for trying it out. It takes 5 minutes to set up. It works on your phone. And again, California, Texas, all 50 states, you are covered. Link is in the bio. Okay, we're back. Sorry that we were gone. It's not like we didn't want to be here. We couldn't be here. We did not have the ability to be here. It was a big clusterfuck. And again, I'm not a burn bridges guy, so I'll spare you what happened to us. Not a big deal. We're just gonna keep moving, and just happy the Baseball is Dead is back, and also that the merch is here. All the haters, oh, you won't get merch for opening day. You're not gonna do it. You're not gonna have it. baseballisdead.com. We don't even have, like, the fact that Baseball is Dead was just like available, pretty sick. We have section 10, and I think it's section 10 merch.com. This is just baseballisdead.com, and it takes you right there. Bang.
I got to say, there were people in the Discord making jersey bets on whether the merch store would be launched by opening day.
Good. I hope all the people who didn't believe me have to spend money on really expensive jerseys.
And I hope I'm not sure if this was even an option on Kalshi, but you could have very well got in on whether or not BID merch was going to drop on opening day. That could have been part of your prediction, Mark. Could have been part of your combo as well. And Jared, you mentioned it. I also want to take just a brief moment to thank everybody, because you're right, dude. Going around town, even in spring training, because I was in spring training all spring long. I got stopped in multiple places. I had a father who had taken a large portion of his softball team out to dessert one night, and it's me and my wife and our girls, and he just walks right up to me, stands in front of me, turns around, and just goes, "Where the fuck is BID? What is?" And I was like looking around him, and Meg just started laughing so shout out to the dad at Cold Stone. We're back. I told you we'd be back. I want to shout out Thomas and the boys in the Arizona complex, because those guys are huge fans. They listen religiously. Thomas is a massive fan of Jay Hay. Jared, he hates you. He loves me because he has to. It's really more of a love-hate. He likes to see you and I get buried by Jay Hay on Family Feud. I know a lot of folks are excited about Family Feud being back, so I also want to echo your sentiment. Did not necessarily expect the drummed up support that I think we received, each one of us, because we kind of talked about it offline amongst each other, and it's to get sentimental for a minute, it's heartwarming. It's appreciated very much.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that I knew how big the audience was, because I look at the numbers. Like, I know that there's a lot of people out there that watch and listen to the show. But again, like, it's because it's national versus like they're not all rooting for the same team, so we don't hear from them, I guess, as much. But this process was certainly eye-opening with, like, as far as how many people care about Baseball is Dead. So that was very cool. So thank you to everyone. Baseballisdead.com is where you can get your merch. There's a new color scheme, which I'm very excited about. I think I saw someone post like Baseball is Dead is in its Kane era. And yes, I'm changing the background lights on the show to reflect the new color scheme. The merch is sick. It's a black and red color scheme. We've got stickers on the website. Also, we're offering merch in the green and gold color scheme, because obviously there's a lot of A's fans that listen. We have a navy and blue option for anyone that's a Guardians fan, to represent Jay Hay, and then obviously the socks. We've got a zip up hoodie, a couple different t-shirt options. Well, 4 different t-shirt options. This is kind of just where it starts, but we're going to continue to add to the Baseball is Dead merch store as we go. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited that it's finally off the ground. And for the first time ever, we as an entity are independent. I know I explained this on Section 10 last night, but for anyone who doesn't listen, we are an independent operation. In the past, we worked for Barstool, we worked for DraftKings, we worked for Underdog. We are independent. We have sponsors that are going to help pay for the roster. We've got 9 guys, but I know we launched the Section 10 Patreon on opening day. There will be, because people were asking, it will be a separate Patreon for Baseball is Dead. We're in the process of working, because I mean, like one of the big things for the Section 10 Patreon is that we'll take you to a game. Dallas can't take you to the game because he's calling the game. So like I don't want to promise you something that we can't deliver, or like charge money for something that
but the idea is the idea is we can see you at the game. I can see you at the game. You can come and be my guest at the game, which means you and I get to chop it up during BP at the game. And I'm not talking through the fence. I'm talking you standing on the field, boots on the ground, your spikes in the dirt, my spikes in the dirt, watching big league spikes on the dirt. That's what we can offer.
Can you bring someone in the booth to just chill?
Yeah, I absolutely could.
Okay. All right. So maybe there's something there. Yeah, we're going to get our heads together and figure out what we can offer everyone. Another part of it will be access to the blog, which is a combination of Baseball is Dead guys. Jay Hay's going to be blogging in there, which I'm very excited to read long form Jay Hay writing. I'm so accustomed to the nugs and the podcast and his tweets, but now we're in his notes. But Jay Hay in a long form setting, that's baseball crack, as they call it. But you're going to get Jay Hay in there. You're going to get the McMahon in there. I will be returning to blogging, which I'm super excited about, because I referenced that tweet I saw the other day about how, writers who go fully into video and podcasting, they're not as smart, because they're not thinking out their thoughts beforehand, and they're not doing the same research they were doing when they were writing. I 1000% agree. Like I can at least speak to that from my own personal experience, that I feel like writing was my prep. And now that I don't write, sure, I'm looking at data and like I'm reading articles, but as far as like having a thesis that I deep dive into myself, I was really only doing that with writing. So I'm very excited to return to that. It is my one true love. It's where I started. It's how I started. It's just that the industry took a left, and I took the left with the industry. I was like, all right, well, if you can't really support yourself off just being a writer, then I guess this is where we're going. But to have the ability to return to it and have people want to take that in, that's super cool. So that will be part of the BID Patreon. As well as a bunch of other stuff. There's going to be a bunch of cool stuff in there, and we'll release it as soon as we have it. We're all learning in real time. Long story short, the plan was to kind of go independent 2-3 years from now, and we just got thrown into the pool unknowingly. And I think that has motivated a lot of people on the team to get it going and be like, all right, fine, fuck it. If this is what we're doing, then like, let's go. And so we're getting a refocused, revitalized entire roster here as far as baseball content goes. And I've said it online, I'll say it here again. Anything that was free before will still be and will always be free. You'll still get the podcast on YouTube, on your Spotify and Apple feeds. That will always be free. Everything as part of the Patreon is bonus. You're going to get bonus content. And Just the Nuts, still free. That'll still be on YouTube. We are going to be going live Tuesday night, tomorrow night. It's the first episode of Just the Nuts. Obviously, Dallas is a big league broadcaster, so we're going to be rotating in. Maybe Kenny Mayne pops in. We don't know. But it's going to be a main cast of me, Jay Hay, and Coley. If there's a A's off night that we can make it work with DB, he will be in there. And I think we want to keep the theme going of you never know who's going to walk through that door. Obviously, it's going to be different. Like Vinny Pasquantino can't pop in because he's playing Major League Baseball games. It's going to get crazier as we get to the playoffs, because then you truly don't know. Barrier. Yeah, like you truly don't know who's going to pop in. But as far as the regular season, we're going to have guys on our roster. We're going to have random people that, you know, are within our Rolodex that we can tap on the shoulder to pop in. But that, again, is free, will be free. And the Patreon is just complete bonus content that is in addition to stuff that you've never had before from us as a content brand. But yeah, part of the beauty of being independent now is guys are available outside of Dallas, who's obviously in a big league booth calling big league games. Everyone else is going to be all in on this. Like we're not working for a company, therefore we don't have, you know, Steve being pulled away to do social for basketball and football as part of the what he's getting paid for. Like he's going to be podcasting and he's going to be doing social media, which he's great at for both brands. Like he's going to be tweeting a bunch of stuff for BID. He's going to be tweeting a bunch of stuff for Section 10. We've got people that now can be producers that weren't tapped to do that before. So yeah, we're kind of just unlocking every extra skill that everyone has and reinvesting it back into the brand, which again should only take us to the next level. And it's, yeah, I'm very excited about it. And it was scary at first, but I think having gotten to the point where we see the support from the audience and from the sponsors, new and returning, I think we're going to be in a great place. It's a great place to start year one independent. We're in a great place, but I'm looking at it as like a 5-10 year plan of where we can get to. And that to me is very exciting. You know, just Dallas talks about it all the time. You know, when you get in with like the minor league players and then they become big league stars, he was looking at it as, all right, we get in with these guys when they're minor leaguers, and then that'll be great to make content with them when they're big league stars. My brain goes to, we get in with them when they're minor leaguers, they become big league stars who retire and want to do this. So then they can do content with us that takes us to the next level. So I'm thinking of it in a complete baseball player lifespan. But yeah, very excited for the future of the show. Again, thank you to the audience who has supported us and just been waiting for the show to come back. It's back. We're happy. You're happy. Just the Nuts Tuesday night. Patreon on the way. Merch stores open. Everyone's excited. And you can continue that excitement with the fact that it's the predictions pod. There's one series has been played. I don't think anyone's sitting there being like, "Oh, Skeens didn't look good on opening day, so I'm going to pivot my Cy Young pick. I'm gonna move elsewhere." It's like, all right, man. Like let's be honest with ourselves here. I don't think that one weekend of baseball changed anybody's picks as far as I'm assuming Jay had his predictions done by Christmas, but I can tell you that as someone that did the picks like a week before opening day, nothing that happened over the start of the season has changed my picks.
Well, I'll tell you this, maybe in hand up, maybe it's PTSD already, but I may have had a division winner that I might not, I might have changed in the last 72 hours. That's all I'm going to say. All right. We can get to that. No. Maybe I'm revealing it a little early, but good Lord. That's how quickly things can change, Jared. That is how quickly things can change. But yeah, as far as like overall season awards, the individual awards, I feel pretty comfortable in the selections that I have made. This is something that we do amongst broadcasters, not only in our team group, but throughout the league. There's a bunch of us who are on a thread and we exchange these thoughts. So I was locked in. I was dialed in. And then you know what? Sometimes you get a sneak peek behind the curtain, or I guess you get the front row seat to a new show that reveals itself for the first time, and you're going, ooh, okay. You know what? That's playing a little different than I had anticipated. And if that's going to sustain, then maybe things could change, because, buddy, while it might have been a fucking 2 degrees Celsius in the 6, shit was hot in the Rogers Center. Hot. I'll just say that.
So, historically, dating back to the starting 9 days, I have tried not to pick any chalk for MVP and Cy Young. Like, I feel like in years past when like DeGrom was at the top of his game, like I wouldn't pick him for Cy Young. And then like, I'm not picking like Shohei for MVP and stuff like that. It's like, all right, like it would kind of just be like remove the favorite. And I don't know that I picked any favorites aside from the NL Cy Young. Like giving it up right away, like I'm not going to try and be cute and say Skeens isn't going to win that thing. Because I think out of all the awards,
but there's viable options.
Yeah, like out of all the awards and things that we're going to predict on this episode, Skeens winning and the next closest guy has to be the biggest gap of any award that I've maybe ever seen for this segment in all the years that we've been doing this show.
I mean, I don't know that it's that big. Is it that big?
Skeens in the next in the runner up?
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's that big.
Pull that up on Cal
honestly, I think there's a bigger gap between. Well, maybe not. I mean, because the AL has some dogs. AL has some absolute.
The AL
dogs.
has dogs. Yeah,
but
we'll get into it. We'll get into it. All right. So without further ado, the 2026 series predictions. Jay Hay, do we want to go top to bottom or bottom to top in terms of we're starting with comeback player of the year, working up to MVP, or do you want to start at MVP down to Cy Young, rookie of the year, manager of the year, comeback player of the year? Where do you want to go with this?
I think we start at the top.
We start at the top. Okay. The American League most valuable player. I don't know. Like, so there for a few of these awards, there's a couple of paths where it's, I think there's a world where we don't agree on anything, but none of us come off as super wrong. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think that speaks to the number of viable options for some of these awards, right?
Yeah, like NL Manager of the Year, like ton of viable options for that. Anyways, American League MVP. Who's going Judge? Who's going Bobby Witt? And who's going outside of that?
You know what? Like I also have some dark horses that I'm probably going to throw in there. But off the top,
Nick Kurtz.
I'm rolling with Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Witt Jr. Is my AL MVP award winner. My dark horse AL MVP, believe it or not, is not Nick Kurtz. It's Jose Ramirez. And I hate that he's a dark horse, but he's consistently a dude who gets the afterthought, who gets the crumbs. And he always is consistently reminding you, I am in the conversation every year. So
has
I
he ever
think
been
it's more
robbed,
of a,
though? Like it's always like he's always he's an MVP caliber guy, but I don't know that he's ever been straight up robbed of an MVP award. You know what I mean?
No. And that's why it's almost like I almost felt weird even putting the dark horse label on him, because he's not coming out of nowhere. He's on your radar. You just almost expect him to be that good perennially. He's just never quite given you the performance. And it's been a timing issue, really, where he puts together MVP caliber seasons, but there's somebody who just absolutely blows you away and has a ridiculous year, right? Like when we watch Aaron Judge do what he's done, or when Cal Raleigh, even though he did not win, puts a season like he did together. What is Jose Ramirez doing to outshine that? And in totality, maybe obviously not quite enough, but is still across the board. Like you're like, this is a top 5 player in the league every fucking year.
Yeah. I think like when I think of Jose Ramirez, I'm like, everyone knows how good he is. It's going to be, because I picked Bobby Witt just because I think it's boring to pick Judge. If you had put a gun to my head, I said, yeah, I'm picking Aaron Judge. But it's almost like the formula for every season with the MVP is Aaron Judge, the guy who has a season out of nowhere who rivals Aaron Judge, and then Jose Ramirez is right there. It's just like, that's just how the MVP works in the American League. It's like, yeah, Jose Ramirez, he's going to finish third or like 5, 4, 3, somewhere in there. But it's almost like his ceiling is 3, and you're going to get that guy that it's like, oh my God, is he going to be the guy that beats Judge? Then that guy doesn't. Right. That's going to be Bobby Witt, and then Judge just wins the MVP again.
Yeah, because my other
not saying that's wrong.
Like,
it's just like how it plays out.
No, and my other like the guy that I battled with, even as like the dark horse, was still not Nick Kurtz. It was Shea Langoliers, and because I had a firsthand look of what this dude has done. Oh yeah, oh yeah,
Dallas.
wow, yeah, yes,
Dallas, come on,
what dark horse? What are you?
You got to at least be the best player on your own team to be a dark horse for MVP.
Buddy, I don't think, well, this is what you don't understand is there's nobody on that team that will tell you that there's anybody better than Shea Langoliers on that team. When it comes to being the total player,
he's not.
There's nobody that's going to tell you.
You have green and gold glasses. I don't know how
you can.
You're too close to the subject. You're too close to the subject. I think if we were to do a national poll, who's the best player on the A's? I don't know that Shea Langoliers is getting much national support in that discussion.
Buddy, the dude is on another planet.
I'm not saying he's not good. Good player.
He's been on another planet all spring and now has carried it directly into the season.
Good player. I don't know that anyone is like if we were to do a one season draft, I don't know that he's getting drafted above Nick Kurtz without that person getting made fun of heavily, being like, you don't know ball.
Mm-hmm. We'll just wait to see how this one plays out.
All right, let me ask you,
This
Dallas.
is going to be a good clip. This is somebody mark this timestamp down.
If we were to do an active player draft where it's just 1 year, are you taking Shea Langoliers before Nick Kurtz in that draft? You're taking him in the first round.
I would be hard pressed right now to not make that decision. It would be a very difficult decision.
Christ, dude.
But if we're talking about purely contributing to the entire team,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want to say DB is digging himself further and further on this to be stubborn, I think. But I will say he has the same MVP odds, according to a couple of sources, as people like Garrett Crochet. So I think he qualifies as a dark horse MVP candidate.
He qualifies as a dark horse, but definitely not better than Nick Kurtz.
That's what I had him as. I didn't put him in the MVP conversation.
I understand. I was adjudicating that point. That's all I was doing.
I feel like what you were doing is spitting in the face of Nick Kurtz because he won't sign an extension.
Not at all.
Because you're a team lackey that is
neither one of them. Neither one of them
was slandering Nick Kurtz. You're trying to get the fans to turn against him.
And what I won't reveal is who I had the conversation with about Shea Langoliers having an MVP season. Jared, you very well be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't be, to hear that those words came from somebody who, well, you might be in favor of in terms of that pick proposition that you just made. What if I told you that one of those two guys?
All you're saying to me is that Nick Kurtz is a humble king. He's a humble king. He's being like, he's definitely better than me. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, my pick for AL MVP is Nick Kurtz. I'm changing it. I'm saying you bullied me into changing my pick. I love Bobby Witt, but you know what? Nick Kurtz is the pick. AL MVP.
There you go. There you go.
That.
See?
The start of the season didn't change your pick.
That's called mind control.
No, it's not. It's called defending the wall. And as now officially the biggest Nick Kurtz guy on this podcast, I feel like I have to show that by picking him for AL MVP. So Dallas is Bobby Witt. My pick has been changed to Nick Kurtz. I'm going to have to update the log. Jay, where are you landing on AL MVP?
Well, that's good. I like that you pivoted, Jared, or that Dallas bullied you into pivoting, however we're spinning that, because that breaks uniformity here. Because I also have Bobby Witt Jr., and I want to share a nug to kind of back up that point, he's basically had consecutive MVP worthy seasons in the last 2 years. I'm not saying he's gotten robbed. He hasn't, but in a lot of seasons, the years that he's put up in 24 and 25, and particularly 24, would be MVP winning seasons. Obviously, that he plays in Aaron Judge's league is a huge part of this conversation, but I agree. I'm not inclined to pick Judge. Here are the only players in baseball history who have put up more wins above replacement across age 24 to 25, which is Witt's last 2 seasons, than Bobby Witt Jr. I'll go quickly. Mantle, Gehrig, Ruth, Hornsby, Cobb, Fox, Speaker, A-Rod, Bonds, Schmidt, Trout, Shoeless Joe, Mookie, Pujols, Willie Mays. That's it.
All Hall of Famers.
All Hall of Famers, or if they are not eligible, or they are permabanned. And I know he's viewed as a superstar within the current scheme of things. I wonder if he's viewed at quite that level for what he has been doing as a historically great player. And I think this is the year for reasons that I'll get into when we do our team picks partially, but mostly because of Bobby's own production. I think this is going to be the year he gets the actual hardware.
Yeah, I used to agree with you, but in the last 5 minutes, I've changed my mind. Yeah.
Well, Dallas presented a compelling argument.
Yeah. I woke up this morning
against
agreeing with
Nick
you,
Kurtz, I think.
but my thoughts are always subject to change. In the American League Cy Young Award, I feel so. I don't know. I feel like Dallas is going Scooble here.
Just say it, Homer. Just say
Dallas is going Scooble here. I'm not personally. That doesn't align with my spirit. Jay Hay is probably going Scooble here. Yeah.
Are you asking me for my official pick right now?
I'm asking if you have the balls to join me on the right side of history, because Scooble, while great, he's got his priorities all out of whack.
For a third time, it's a steeper mountain to climb. For a third time. So
it is.
Sure.
It is.
And find an easier path.
Year 2 wasn't
hill.
as good as year 1. Crochet's on the up and up. Like, you want to buy Crochet.
Well, yeah, he's been, what he's doing is he's been drafting right behind Tarik Skubal and is now looking to slingshot his way up the mountain. That's cool. That's what happens when you're riding behind a fucking, when you're riding behind a
Crochet's
diesel.
doing a little shake and bake for the Cy Young.
That's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, no, it's what he is doing this year. So are you with me, Jay Hay? Do you have the fucking balls to take a stand here for some change?
I'm not taking Crochet or Skubal.
Oh.
I'm going a little deeper into the bag for both my Cy Young picks.
I think you may be going with my dark horse.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they're a little further down. I'm having a little bit more fun. Having a little bit more fun with my Cy Young picks because I think, because I want to and because I believe in the pitchers that I'm talking about. But it's not Hunter Brown. I'll just give my pick then, since you guys are teasing your own. I'm going with Dylan Cease, and it's not just because of the first outing that he delivered, which obviously featured 12 strikeouts in 5 1/3.
Easy.
I'm going with Dylan Cease because I think this is the year that the Blue Jays actually unlock that version of Cease that is wall-to-wall consistent and is more like the version we saw 3 or 4 years ago than the one we've seen the last 2. And while I'm not being influenced by the first start, I do think, and obviously its opponent, was. We'll see. Shit. DB's here. That's right.
I don't know that anyone had you taking Dylan Cease for the Cy Young this year.
No, Dylan Cease did not have you taking Dylan Cease.
Yeah.
Well, he's demonstrated the ability to give us the quantity. He has demonstrated the ability to give us the quality in the past, and I think the Blue Jays are able to get more out of him than than he was delivering in previous seasons, and that he breaks through and wins the Cy Young.
So it's Skubal.
I can appreciate that.
Crochet, Cease.
That's right.
Cease off the board for a Cy Young pick.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
All right, we interrupt this predictions pod to talk to you about the great folks at BetterHelp. And I already know that a lot of BID listeners are BetterHelp customers. They are BetterHelp fans because of what this company has been able to do for them in their own individual lives. I can speak to it as well. Been an online therapy guy for, like 6. I didn't do that on purpose. So I think it's been like 6 or 7 years. But March includes International Women's Day, a moment to celebrate women's strength and progress while also recognizing how much they carry every day. Between caring for others and managing unseen responsibilities, their emotional well-being can be easily overlooked. We want to remind women how much they matter, and that therapy offers a space for them to take care of themselves in the way that they deserve. BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct and are fully licensed in the United States. BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so you can focus on your therapy goals. A short questionnaire helps identify your needs and preferences, and their 12 plus years of experience and industry leading match fulfillment rate means that they typically get it right the first time. If you aren't happy with your match, you can switch to a different therapist at any time from their tailored recommendations. With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 6 million people globally, and it works with an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 for a live session based on over 1.7 million client reviews. That is a lot of client reviews. That is a lot of people going out there saying that BetterHelp is the place for me. Your emotional well-being matters. Find support and feel lighter in therapy. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/baseball. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/baseball. Again, it's baseball season's back. You know, you got to get to the ballpark. How are you going to do that? With the Game Time app. The Game Time app gives fans the advantage with constant innovation. It's how you unlock amazing tickets and experiences in just a few taps. Dead simple to use. The Game Time guarantee means that you get 100% authentic tickets on time at the best price. No surprises. Fees are included in the price that you see. What you see is what you pay, period. We will be at opening day. Very excited. We're doing a Section 10 watch party. Not a watch party, a live show before opening day, which is on April 3rd. So we are using Game Time to get our tickets, and you can save even more when you choose a section and you let Game Time choose the seats for you. Know your total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. Snag new ticket deals before anyone finds out by following your favorite teams in the Game Time app to receive alerts. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy your tickets. The lowest price guarantee. Your Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry today. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code BID for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use the promo code BID for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Back to the prediction spot. Rookie of the year. Scouts honor. This was a preseason pick. It's looking pretty fucking good. This was a before any games were played pick for me. Munetaka Murakami was the pick, and he is on pace for 162 home runs. That would do it. I feel like he would probably secure the award if that were the case, if you were able to get to 162 homers this year. We'll see if he can keep up the pace, but that's my pick. He's already the face of the franchise for the Chicago White Sox. I know that we were, talking about the vibes in camp as far as the White Sox were concerned, and Will Venable bringing kind of like a clean slate. It's a new chapter. They're still bad, like the vibes may feel different, but they're still not a good baseball team. But the big difference here is that Murakami is going to be a guy that until they stop pitching to him is a reason to watch the Chicago White Sox and be like, that's a big league ball player right there. Like that, I can tune in, see his at bats, and not be disappointed. I know that there's swing and miss there, whatever, but when he barrels up a ball, when he squares one up, it goes. So Murakami, my pick for American League Rookie of the Year.
Murakami is officially the shit for sure.
Just to not piggyback, but just to follow up on the Murakami pick. Good one, Dave. What I am interested to see, like, we're all having fun with Murakami hitting the 3 homers so far, but in fairness to the actual analysis that was going on in the questioning of whether he might transition to MLB, it was mostly about velocity, right? And the 3 pitches that he has hit for homers, the fastest of those 3 is 93.2 mile an hour cutter. The others were a 90.5 mile an hour cutter off of Jake Woodford and a 91.8 mile an hour 4-seam fastball, which sounds about like the worst pitch you could possibly throw.
And they were right
from Chad, Patrick.
Yeah, and I had to laugh when it was off of Chad Patrick, number 1, just because of
what's his name?
Because I had I had a vision of Murph looking out there going, "Who the fuck is that guy? Who's pitching for us right now?" But I mean, it also helps when Sal Frelick like basically catches the ball and throws it over the fence for you. Like that's something that happened. That ball was not leaving the yard. We have to remember that. That ball was not leaving the yard. Sal elevated off the glove into the stands. Homer. But yeah, I was thinking the same exact thing about the velocity. My American League Rookie of the Year pick will be a man who I was almost disappointed that I did not get to see in the 6th, and that's going to be Trey Yesavage.
Starting the year on the IL, but hard to knock the pick. I feel like that's a guy that could make 25 starts and still take home the award based on what he's able to contribute in those 25 starts. I considered it myself, but yeah, the starting the year on the injured list swayed me a little bit, but also I love Murakami. Jay?
Yeah, Murakami's a great pick. Obviously, both guys totally viable. I'm going with Kevin McGonigal.
Yeah,
I think obviously the debut is exciting and all of that, but this is the consensus number 2 prospect in baseball, and the number 1 prospect if we're talking about potential 2026 impact. Given that Connor Griffin is not there and not quite ready. And I think he's going to have, I think his broad base of skills makes him feel like a little bit of a safer pick in some ways to me than Murakami, even if, Murakami's tracking for, 50, 60, 70 homers at different points this season. And I think McConaughey is going to be a key part of what's going to be a pretty easy division winner for the Tigers as well. So for those reasons, I'm going to take him as the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, people are talking about him like he's the next Roman Anthony. And
well, fucking 4-hit game.
Yeah, why not? So far, what's there been one award where there was multiple picks that were similar?
Mm-hmm. Just one. Bobby Witt Jr.
A lot of parity. I know we've made this rule in the past that if you picked them last year, you can't pick them again. Does that apply to Manager of the Year?
Yeah, it should.
I feel like if he doesn't win, then I should be able to pick him again. I think if I pick him and he wins, then I can't pick him again. Like I picked someone last year who didn't win, and I want to try again this year.
I'm trying to think of who you want.
Is that street legal?
I mean, we can allow it.
I think I'm fine with it.
Okay.
I mean, you didn't reap any reward from picking him last time, so if you want to go back to that well.
I do. Do you know what well I went to last year, Dallas?
In the American League?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Who was it?
I think we'll align here.
Did you pick him last year?
No, I picked the winner.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, great. Yeah. If you want to, steal my takes, happy to do it. Mark Kotsay is for the second year in a row.
Yep.
For me is the pick. One of these years he's going to prove me right. I just feel like he's too much of a. I hear. I mean, not outside of obviously Dallas's propaganda. I hear too much positivity surrounding him and how he bonds that group together. I always take what Dallas says with a grain of salt because he has a master degree in brainwashing. but there are people who share the same sentiment as Dallas when it comes to Mark Kotze and how he's portrayed and how he's viewed by not only his peers, but the guys that play for him and coach alongside him. So yeah, I'm just going to keep buying Kotze stock until he finally takes it home, because to me, it feels like it's only a matter of time. Like I don't think that the Kotze era in Sacramento, where the fuck you guys are from, I don't think that the era ends without him winning one of these.
Yeah, I had some fun with Kotz this spring, because obviously you guys know Bob Melvin is back in the fold with the Athletics as a special advisor, and
how exciting is that for you?
It's awesome. I mean, it's awesome, and not even for me. And this kind of speaks to Kotz. Is the minute that Bo Mel showed up, and this is how Bo Mel is he was very not standoffish, but hey, yeah, I'm here. Let me just kind of chill in the shadows. And Kotz was like, no, get over here. You're like when we had live BP and sim games. He pulled Bo Mel with him behind the screen immediately and was just like, talk to me about what you see, talk to me. And watching bullpens, watching BP, Kotz wants opinions, he wants thoughts, he wants information from guys who have been there and who have done that. And I was kind of giving Kotz shit because when Bo Mel won his third manager of the year with the Athletics, I at the time had a deal with a scooter company, and I was able to get Bo Mel a scooter, and I designed it with 3-time manager of the year on the scooter. And I told Kotz, I was like, I think it's scooter season. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, well, I think we need to get you a scooter. I said, Bo Mel, tell him what's up. And Bo Mel told him about the scooter. And so I said, I think it's time to get you that scooter. And Kotz liked that idea. So I would love for it to be scooter season for Mark Kotze. That is also my AL Manager of the Year pick. Mark Kotze, it is scooter season, bud.
Jay?
I'm going to go with AJ Hinch. There has never been a 3-time Manager of the Year award winner, or 3 in a row, I should say, rather. So I don't think Stephen Vogt is going to capture it again. I don't think I'm quite as optimistic on the A's as you guys are, based on what you guys are teasing so far. But I am very confident on the Detroit Tigers winning the AL Central, and I think Hinch will be rewarded for that, having not previously won the award, A, and B, I just think it'll be so definitive in that division that it'll be an easy decision for voters in a lot of ways.
Jay, it feels like you've got the Tigers, you got the Motor City Kitties like winning this division by fucking 2 weeks.
I mean, I do. I think it's going to be close or at a double-digit division lead. Yeah.
Wow.
I do.
Yeah. I mean, let's remember, it did take a collapse for the Guards to do what they did.
For sure. And I think we'll get into it, but I think there are reasons to think that the Tigers are better suited than they were entering last season. And I think the Guardians, they could be better, I suppose. But I don't think they made huge strides this offseason in the way that signing Framber Valdez and promoting Kevin McGonigal and stuff like that.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay. Comeback Player of the Year. I like this award the least because it's too open to like come back from what, like come back from injury, come back from adversity, come back from suck, like there's so many things that you can come back from, and there's not a clear indication of what means more when you come back from it. Like Mike Trout is always a candidate now for comeback player of the year. It's like, come back from what? Like, yeah, like there's injury and there's decline, and like you play for the Angels, like that's adversity in and of itself. But then there's other guys that it's like, all right, yeah, like they were hurt last year and missed 100 games, or Like there's been years where it's like Liam Hendricks came back from cancer. Like how the fuck does anything else mean more than that? And Trey Mancini, like guys that come back from actual near-death diseases or experiences. It's like, I don't care that you fucking had a boo-boo last year and now you're playing 155 games. So it's always a more, I guess, layered conversation when it comes to comeback player of the year. So I feel like this year's field, though, the best candidates were all guys that were coming back from injury. You know, it wasn't. It was.
There's three definitive guys
in the American League.
Yeah, in the American League, I feel like there's three definitive dudes coming back from injury, and I think honestly, I think Trouty kind of checks both boxes. Where down season production wise, exactly, and still coming back from a flat tire. So I think and. The start that he's off to, the start that the Angels are off to, like I know it's very early, but I mean, he had never experienced starting a season 2-0, and that's how things got popping for the Halos. He hits 2 homers in the beginning of the season, back-to-back games. That's fun. So yeah, and I mean, we can get into Trout and why he's getting comfortable. I think that he'll have a great year, and here's why. He's back in a comfortable position defensively. And I know that might not mean much to people who are going, what does that have to do with what he's doing at the plate? For me, I understand that it has a massive amount of comfort impact for these players. If they're playing a defensive position that they're used to, that they're comfortable in, that they were almost sort of edged out of and talked into playing a different spot just because of X, Y, and Z, keep you healthy, blah, blah. And now he's like, you know what, buddy, I might be towards the end of this thing. And if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out playing the position that put me on the map. I'm going to go out playing the position that makes me comfortable. And if that helps me get back to a comfort offensively, great. He's talked a lot about how the hitting coaches and the hitting brain trust have helped kind of recapture what he was doing before mechanically. That's got him comfortable. And frankly put, a player of Mike Trout's caliber, when he's telling you that he feels like he's that much more comfortable and you know he's in a healthier mind state because of where he's playing defensively, that's a scary dude. That is a scary, scary dude. And I would love to see a season where Mike Trout reminds people, buddy, I was your favorite player's favorite player for a long, long time. And some more talent entered this game, and I kind of got overlooked because I was dealing with some injuries and bouncing back. Let's not forget, at one point in time, Mike Trout posted a video of him swinging in the cage at home, and people had the audacity to talk about the shit that he was doing wrong, not even realizing that it was Mike Trout that they were talking about. Like that's how far things had dropped in terms of recognizing this dude's greatness. And so now an opportunity for him to remind you of how good he is. You know what? I just talked myself into the Mike Trout pick because I was going to go Yordan Alvarez, and it is now Mike Trout. I was just
about to say, I'm going to be so annoyed if Mike Trout, after all this, isn't your pick, if you just said all that for no reason. So
that being said, I'm picking...
yeah, I switched. It's Mike Trout. I'm going Trout.
Okay. Jay, who you got?
Yeah, I'll be honest. So I've pulled up the odds on our from our sponsor, Kalshi, on this, and I did not appreciate how that Mike Trout would be the favorite for this because I did not look at these before I prepared my own picks. I guess I just focused more. So what's that?
So on Kalshi, it's literally like you're looking at fan opinion.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that there's going to be sports books that don't have Trout as the favorite, but as far as what fans think, that's what a Kalshi graph is going to represent.
So right now he's listed at 37%, which appears to have risen considerably since the start of the season based on how I'm reading this chart, while Garrett Cole is second and Yordan Alvarez is third. I guess I focused in my head more on the idea that Mike Trout got 550 plus plate appearances last year, and that being available in and of itself is not going to deliver him the award. That being said, I am going to stick with Yordan Alvarez because, the advantage that both of these guys have over Garrett Cole, at least, is that they're both starting the season. And I think that is a significant advantage for both of those guys in terms of building cases and building kind of the quantity of production that a Comeback Player of the Year award might garner. But listen, The last time that we saw, I know last season was weird, and it was pretty obvious from the get-go that it was shaping up to be kind of a lost season for Alvarez. The last time we saw him as a healthy baseball player, he put up a 170 OPS plus. And the year before that, it was 170, and the year before that, it was 188. So we are literally like this is a generational player, and even in a season where he clearly wasn't healthy, he put up a 121 OPS plus, which is just an incredible floor in 199 plate appearances. So I'm taking Alvarez because as much as I would like the Trout thing to happen emotionally, and obviously he's an all-time great, Yordan's in his age 29 season. Like this should still be a prime level season for a player who is this good, and for that reason, I'm going to take him.
Oh, I'm going to rely on the numbers and statistical data to support my opinion instead of going with my heart.
Well, most of these are ultimately gut checks anyway on the awards. So
I went with Yordan just because I did look at the field. I don't sadly believe Mike Trout is going to put together a season where... So here's the thing. Mike Trout can have a good year and it's still not looked at as this like historic, miraculous, oh my God, storybook comeback for him because the bar is so high for us to say... He's back. Like, look at Mike Trout. Like he's not going to have like an 8.5 WAR season like that. Like he could come out and have some pop, like maybe it's like a 480 slug and he's got like an OPS in the high 800s. And you're like, that's great. But as far as the complete package, like we definitively have seen the last great, excellent Mike Trout season. I think we can still see a good one. I think, we can look up at the end of the year and be like, all right, good season for Mike Trout. But he set the bar historically high. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's just like his peak years were like... Yeah.
Yeah, he's a victim of his own. He's a victim of his own success. And
his
my biggest issue my biggest issue when I was mulling this over was, dude, Dallas, if he hits the IL for any reason whatsoever, even if it's one time and it's just a 10-day stint for whatever reason, like that's going to resonate. That's going to be in people's minds. And I think that will be held against him to a greater extent than maybe it should even be. But that was one of my biggest reasons why I was like, Yordan is the safe pick. Yordan is the clear and obvious choice, in my opinion. I mean, Garrett Cole, whatever that performance is going to look like, if he's doing Garrett Cole type shit, then I think because of the narrative of the Yankees and probably, maybe being division favorites in some folks' eyes, like that can help his push. But for me, Yordan was going to be the easy pick. And then I thought, you know what? No, I'm riding with Trouty because I want to believe that he's going to get back to a point where we appreciate him over the course of a full season. But should he, for any reason, experience a setback, I think that would, no pun intended, hurt him.
Okay. It's time for the National League side of the prediction pod. We'll start with the National League MVP. Dallas, who you got for MVP?
I mean, really? It's that dude. It's that dude.
You're boring.
I mean, what do you want me to... Sorry. He's the best player on the fucking planet, man.
He is. I didn't like I said, gun to my head, I would have picked Judge, but it's like I feel like for MVP, it's like, all right, you're the Shohei guy. We all know, like, you copy Ben Verlander, like you got to be the Shohei guy. So then be the Shohei guy. That's fine. Jay, are you also going Shohei Ohtani?
Actually, yes, I am.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. See, there you go.
I don't think the other candidates are as compelling, to be honest with you, as they are in like a Bobby Witt universe. And I don't want to spend the whole season like rooting against Ohtani's MVP candidacy because I picked Corbin Carroll. I've done that before, and I don't want to do it again because I think the mountain to overcome with how much he's slated to pitch this year that another player has to overcome relative to even seasons past is going to be enormous. And I don't see an overwhelmingly compelling candidate.
Isn't it great to think that, wow, him not pitching and then coming back could very well remind people how fucking difficult it is to do both of those things at a high level. And then I think that'll give you an opportunity to jump in the Wayback Machine and go, he didn't win MVP then? He didn't win MVP then? What? Yeah, I think that's going to happen.
So the reason why I think this is the largest gap between player favorite and all the other options of any award we're going to talk about is mostly for that reason. Like the other best candidates, like I think Juan Soto is one of the consensus other best candidates for the award if you're looking for somebody who's not Ohtani. Like, he's going to get dinged for his defense. He's not a candidate in the same way that Bobby Witt Jr. is a candidate where you feel like you can fall back on the defensive value in making the case for him, particularly against an Ohtani who, what is he going to throw this year? 100 innings, 120 innings, 150? I'm not sure any of us really know the answer to that, but it should be more robust than the last couple of years when his candidacy has been, he was unanimous last year, and I believe the year before. So, Jared, who are you taking? Now I'm very intrigued.
No, it's got to be Soto.
Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, you're taking Ohtani?
Asshole.
What a jerk.
What a jerk. He's the greatest baseball player of all time. Who else could you pick?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
You'd
have to be a real dickhead to not pick Shohei Ohtani for MVP. You know?
Sounds like somebody's been sleeping over at Ben Verlander's house. You guys sharing bunk beds now?
Listen, I like Ben. I know you feel differently at points, Dallas. Because you guys, you're so alike. That's why you like butt heads. It's that's a big part of it.
Oh, is that funny? That funny, Jay?
Yeah, that is funny.
Yeah. Trust me, I get it.
Fuck.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you're gonna get it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get him on the pod next week. Jake, can you
please
do me a solid? Let's book Ben Verlander for next week. Let's get him on the Monday episode next week. We got to get back in the rhythm. I don't want to get Dallas all excited and disrupt the progress of returning back. I want to get like a week under our belts. But we'll get Ben on, and that'll be fun. We'll do an Ohtani segment. About a little treat.
Oh, please.
You know, like a little pup cup for Dallas. Yeah. NL Cy Young's a waste of time. We're all going Skeens here, yeah?
No.
Yeah, okay. You're not?
I'm not.
Logan Webb?
Nope.
I'm not either, by the way.
What?
I'm here to have a little fun.
Yeah.
You know you're not because you picked Ohtani.
Well, that's you know what, man.
Different types of fun.
If you don't understand that Ohtani is his own thing now,
Skeens as a pitcher in the National League is his own thing now.
Nope, no pitcher is his own thing. I believe Buddha said that once.
He did, yeah.
J.A.
No, he's obviously the best pick. I'm not disputing that he's the best pitcher.
Yeah, yes.
I'm not disputing that I'm going to tune in for all of his starts in a way that I probably still won't for any other pitcher. Same page. I'm not throwing cold water on Paul Skeens at all.
Sounds like you are.
I'm trying to use some of these selections to highlight people that I'm unusually high on who are at least listed for the award.
And put it this way.
I want to know
if I need to be the guy that picks Paul Skeens so that when this graphic comes out that people don't think that we don't know what the fuck we're talking about as a podcast, then I'll be that guy. So lock me in.
That's a good idea. One of us
fine.
should have Paul Skeens.
Then you
That's
two
a good idea.
dipshits can take whoever the fuck trendy hipster pick you want to take.
All right.
No.
Barista looking geeks.
Well,
well,
have my nice cardigan on.
Jay, I'm curious because I think you and I might be aligned here. I had two guys in my mind because I initially out of the gate, and I know this makes no sense because I absolutely love Paul Skeens and everything that comes along with this dude. I love everything about him. I think that's widely known, that's understood. Like, if I was going to get a name on the back of one of my WBC jerseys, it was probably going to be Paul Skeens. And I thought to myself, I do think that there's another option here. But there were two guys, and the guy that I ended up going with, I think, is simply because the other guy that I was thinking about going with pitched until fucking Christmas, basically. And I just don't know what that's going to look like. I mean, he's still going to be great. So while I did not select Yamamoto, I am tapping the lefty. Give me the lefty.
Yeah, I know.
Christopher Sanchez.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
He's the runner-up pick, yeah?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. I hope Skeens never does Slab Lab ever again. I hope he sees that and he's like, really, dude? Really?
Wow.
Christopher Sanchez.
Hurtful.
Has Christopher Sanchez ever done Slab Lab?
Hold tight.
Is this like a marketing ploy? Is this like a backdoor way of being like, hey, brother, I had you for Cy Young this year, brother. You want to do a jump into the Slab Lab, brother? Like, if he ever does an interview with you, I'm just gonna be looking at it like this was bought and paid for. Like he sold his soul.
That's not.
Yep. No, I know the game, brother. I think if you end up getting him on the Slab Lab, it's going to be 100% like, yeah, okay. He's not even going to ask a question. The first fucking thing he's going to say is, well, brother, I'm here with my Cy Young pick, Christopher Sanchez. Welcome to the Slab Lab. Like, he's not going to ask a question first. He's going to introduce it as this was his Cy Young pick. Even if he doesn't win, he's going to reference this for the rest of his fucking life to massage this guy's balls until he comes on the show.
It's almost like you've seen the episode.
Sanchez wants Dallas on that wall, and he needs him on that wall.
Yeah, right. Like, put it this way: if Paul Skeens hadn't already done Slab Lab, he's the pick this year.
That's not true.
Hey, listen, if that's what he's using the award picks for, I'll tip cap to that.
You know, you got to do what you got to do. It's a very competitive field out there. There's a lot of baseball content creators. Again, thank you for choosing us, but there are a lot of people that prefer Ben Verlander to Dallas Braden, and he's gonna do what he's gonna do to get those eyeballs. It's a dog fight out there, you know.
Yeah. Well, my dog in this fight is Christopher Sanchez. That's my dog.
I heard you,
Jay. Where are you going?
No, I heard you.
It's a good pick. I have peeked behind the curtain. I have to say Sanchez was my last cut. Okay. I was very tempted to do that. I was a little bit swayed by how good his first start was and how electric he has become. It wasn't trendy enough for me. And obviously, you know, we're all using this for different reasons. Jared's making sure that we're represented with Paul Skeens so we don't look like assholes when he wins. Dallas is using this for Slab Lab entry purposes to grease the wheel there. Mm-hmm. I am, of course, using this to be able to say how smart I am. And the best way to do that is to pick somebody to take a dart throw and hope that they win and be the only person in the world who picked this person to win Cy Young. So
Oh God.
I'm not quite going that extreme, but I am going to take the young righty from
McLean?
Down in Miami.
Wow.
And
wow.
That's Yuri Perez, who
he's always been a Yuri
age,
Perez guy. This pick is like 3 years in the making. Yeah.
Yep. We've been waiting to do this.
Yeah.
So he's finally giving us the opportunity this year. He has basically thrown a season and change worth of innings in his career spread across 3 seasons, parts of 4 now, 193 and 2/3 innings pitched with a 3.72 ERA and 221 strikeouts. He was nicknamed, it was Baby Felix coming up at one point, I want to say. There are reasons why this guy has been as hyped as he has been for a long time. I know his spring was not good surface level wise. I think there was some underlying stuff that was very encouraging about his pitch sharpness, pitch mix, all that sort of stuff. So I'm very behind this train right now, and I think this is going to be the official breakout campaign of Perez.
What behind this train? You're driving the train. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yep,
You're the only person on the train, but I respect it because this is a seed that was planted essentially from day one. It was kind of like he came up, was hot for a month, and then we almost got weekly episodic updates on Yuri Perez just from Jay.
That's right.
Yeah. So this,
I hope to be delivering lots of those this week.
This is
thank you for remembering my long investment in this.
Yeah, this is long-term storytelling by Justin Havens. Like, we can go back and cut clips from podcasts from 3 years ago where no one knew who Yuri Perez was. And it's, I will say maybe it's a little bit early to pull the trigger on the Cy Young pick, but the fact that you're investing in it and you're like, this is my guy, I believe in my guy, I've believed in him from day one. This is the culmination of that belief. I respect the pick. Yes.
Speaking of the nerdy barista look, this is Jay Hay going, you know what? I heard about this cute little startup in Seattle. They're doing coffee. There's something about a star in their name. I'm going to go out on a limb here and I'm going to throw some change at it and I'm going to see how this builds. This is
all about investing in a quote tweet of the graphic come September.
Yeah. Another long play.
I mean, out of all the awards that we've submitted picks for, I think I'm probably the most emotionally invested in this Yuri Perez pick. Like, I think I want to see this thing through. Yeah, I'm excited to see where this one lands.
Nice.
Yeah,
we're all kind of moving in the same direction here.
We all made picks, but we all want Jay Hayes to win at this point.
Yeah. All right, another interruption of the predictions pod to tell you about the great folks at Mack Weldon. Put away the heavy layers. It's time for breathable, durable clothes that move with you and can keep up with anything that you put on your spring calendar. Mack Weldon has updated closet staples like stretch twill chinos that will go with everything in button-ups. They keep you looking sharp from morning coffee to dinner dates. Discover upgraded basics, fresh styles, and more at MackWeldon.com. Plus, you can get 20% off your first order of $125 or more with the promo code Jared. That's Jared. The best thing about Mack Weldon is, for me, I can just do my whole wardrobe there. It's like they've got everything that you need. I can go there. It's like, this brand here, that brand there. No, like that's not it. I just go to Mack Weldon. They've got everything that I need for comfort, for style, for fitness. Mack Weldon balances classic pieces with updated details to keep you looking sharp. It's not flashy, just classic, always in style, and made from the world's most comfortable performance materials. Easy to style and versatile looks so that you don't have to think about it. Mack Weldon is effortless by design. Crazy comfortable, but elevated sweatpants, shorts, sweatshirts, even blazers. If you're lucky enough to grab one while they're still in stock, good luck with that. Looks like the blazer, feels like a sweatshirt. Super, super comfy. Super comfy. Get lost in comfort with our half zips, pullover hoodies, bomber jackets, crew necks, all new relaxed sweatpants, carpenter sweatpants, and classic sweatpants available in 5 new colors. Mack Weldon clothes are designed to fit your style and the demands of modern life. They look like regular clothes, but they fit like the latest in modern comfort. For over 10 years, Mack Weldon has designed timeless, innovative menswear to help you move through the day with confidence, even if you're just hanging in your underwear. Get moving with Mack Weldon. Comfortable anywhere. Go to MackWeldon.com and get 20% off your first order of $125 or more by using the promo code Jared, Jared. That's MackWeldon.com, promo code Jared. And then last but not least, Hims. When thinning starts, it's not just the hair that takes a hit. It can change how you feel day in and day out. Hims makes it simple to take control of hair regrowth and personalized care that fits your life. You know that moment when you catch your reflection and you notice that your hairline is creeping back? We don't want that. Hims makes it simple to actually do something about it. There's a lot of noise out there about hair loss. 10-in-1 shampoos, random advice, expensive clinic visits. Hims cuts through all of it with real, trusted treatments and 100% online process. You've got better things to do than sit in a doctor's office talking about your hairline. That's why Hims offers access to expert-backed hair loss loss treatments entirely online. Hair loss doesn't fix itself, and the earlier you act, the better. Hims makes starting simple with a 100% online process and personalized treatment plans delivered straight to you. Hims offers convenient access to a range of prescription hair loss treatments that with ingredients that work, like chews, oral medications, serums, and sprays. Doctor-trusted ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil that can stop hair loss and regrow hair in as little as 3 to 6 months. You shouldn't have to go out of your way to feel like yourself again. Hims brings expert care straight to you with 100% online access to personalized treatment plans that put your goals first. Find the right hair regrowth treatment just for you with flexible subscription options, access to 24/7 support, and once-a-day treatment options that fit your daily routine. Think of Hims as your digital treatments front door that gets you back to your old self with simple 100% online access to trusted for health real concerns all in one place. For simple online access to personalized and affordable care for hair loss, ED, weight loss, and more, visit hims.com/BID. That's hims.com/BID for your free online visit. hims.com/BID. Back to the predictions. Okay. Rookie of the year in the National League. Dallas and I feel like we probably have the same pick.
Wait, why are you guys so confident in that?
Well, I mean, I'm pretty confident in it.
I don't know. Are we on the same page, Dallas?
We're on the same page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a matter of time before he pops up.
Yeah.
Just a matter of time before he pops up.
I think that this is a wide open field. Like I feel like you could pick anybody on the board and be like, all right, yeah, like I see the path. But I think for me, the way that I've approached the predictions pod in the past was trying to, like, I tried every year to pick someone that I thought no one else would pick so that I could seem different, unique, and trendy. But this year I was like, fuck it. I'm picking who I think is going to actually win. That's why I was like, I'm going with Skeens. I'm going with Ohtani. I'm going with Garrett Crochet. I'm going with Jordan for comeback player of the year. And for rookie of the year, I'm going with Connor Griffin because he's going to win the rookie of the year in the National League. I don't have time for the bullshit. I don't even think he's not even the favorite, right? He's not the favorite.
No, I think
Nolan McLean
last time I checked, yes, Nolan McLean and I think JJ Weatherholt has kind of inserted himself into this conversation.
Yeah.
Per our new sponsor, currently those three, Weatherholt, McLean, and Sal Stewart sit in a 3-way tie at 21%.
So Sal Stewart is the real fucking deal. Like, I know it was only one series, but he every time that he came up, he did damage. I considered taking him here, but I didn't want to be swayed by just one series to start the year. But kid's the real deal. He looks the part. He looks like he belongs. He has confidence. He plays with a certain like swagger about him that you can just tell he's going to be a guy. But he ain't going to be Connor Griffin. There's only one of those.
He ain't. There's only one of them. And he's on the pirate ship, Jared.
Yeah, he sure
Connor
is,
Griffin.
Dallas.
This guy's an absolute fucking animal, and it's going to just be a matter of him getting up and sure, do I have an emotional tie to this? 100% I do. There's no doubt about it. But
Same.
I also feel like the Pirates are in just such a better position to be competitive this year. And when you think about what you could add to the equation to make them that much more competitive, is plugging in a star-studded shortstop not a great way to bolster your chances to be competitive in that division? That division that's just begging to be taken over? Begging. I understand the Cubs are if the Cubs aren't the favorites, the Cubs and the Brewers, you could pick either one you want, but people are sleeping on what the Pirates might be able to do. And I understand for good reason. Sure. I understand all of it. I'm not going to be the homer who tells you that they need to be considered a number one option in this division. That's not the case. But when you plug in a dude like Connor Griffin, who has done nothing but not just hit, rake at every stop, I want to see in the big leagues. And I think it's going to translate. Everybody around baseball thinks it's going to translate.
Justin Havens,
Nolan McLean.
Where are you at on the National League Rookie of the Year? I'm excited for this pick.
Yeah, I'm back in one of the favorites. I'm back in Nolan McLean.
Okay.
I think that he is by the end. I mean, if he's not already, I should say, but I think by the end of the season, he's going to be viewed as something of a co-ace with Freddie Peralta, if not, and this might be a bridge too far, but if not, just better than Freddie Peralta. I think that's where we're headed with Nolan McLean. I think he is. Shit, dude. Yeah, I mean, I think his. I know there wasn't universal consensus as to who the best pitching prospect in baseball was at this time. It's not like in previous years where it's like, oh, it's that guy. I think he's got a very, very good case that it's him, and I think he. The Stuff Plus numbers and all of that from not only his minor league stint, but what we've seen at the major league level and what we've seen in the spring, I think back up the idea that this is a pretty nasty guy, just kind of waiting for something of a full season's complement of starts at the MLB level. And I think the Mets are going to give it to him. I think they need him. And I think he's going to be pitching deep into the season. And that's ultimately why I'm a little bit more comfortable picking McLean than I am like a Connor Griffin, for example, who we're all very excited about, is that I just think McLean's going to get the 25, 30 starts this season. And I think it's going to be an uphill battle for a position player to battle with that.
See, that was my only draw. I mean, because look, I picked Savage, right? And Savage last year made what? I mean, he had a bigger impact in the postseason than he did in the regular season. He had more work in the postseason than he did in the regular season. I think that will be the only hindrance, the only hurdle that Nolan McLean has to clear. I think this is a dude who could very well find himself in the latter part of the conversation for Cy Young. If I'm being honest, I think that if he can post and give you, because that's where, if it's 130 to 150 innings, does he become a viable option for that award at the end of the year? Probably not, because the body of work that we know that Paul Skeens is going to bring to the table, the body of work that we know that Christopher Sanchez is going to bring to the table, or a Yamamoto is going to bring to the table. That's just going to look differently in totality in terms of lump sum work. But I mean, apples to apples, the type of performance minus the workload, this is going to be a dude who I believe will have Cy Young votes attached to his name at the end of the year.
I don't disagree. If I was going to be swayed from my Connor Griffin pick, though, I would have also picked a Met, but it would not have been Nolan McLean. I was going to go Carson Bench.
Nice.
Yeah. I weighed that one heavily after he made the opening day roster, but I was just like, don't stray too far from God, as they say. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Griffin's fourth and Benj is fifth right now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, well,
close.
Whenever I did the predictions, it was not that close.
Oh yeah, it seems like it changes pretty regularly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. National League Manager of the Year. So this one, I feel bad. I was looking at the American League, like they're giving Booney no shot. Like for a dude that's gonna potentially manage a team that's top 3 in wins in the American League, top 5 in baseball in wins. The odds makers are like, yeah, we don't believe in Booney to win this award. But for National League Manager of the Year, Justin Havens, what was the thought process and where did you ultimately land?
Oh, I just want to admit right off the bat that I try not to overthink the Manager of the Year award, because it does feel like something of a crapshoot relative to a lot of other stuff that's going on. But I do have a pick, and it is Carlos Mendoza. I think that for reasons that we will get into, and I don't want to say too much, but probably giving it away to some degree, I think that the Mets are going to be a force in the NL East this season. I think they are going to win the NL East this season, and I think he's going to be rewarded for that, in part because I don't think either of the NL Central managers are going to get a serious look. Murphy's not going to win 3 straight times. I don't think. I don't think they're going to give it to Craig Counsell, and I don't think Dave Roberts for the Dodgers is going to be getting the award either. So for those reasons, I think Mendoza is a strong pick, and that's why I'm making it.
You take exception to Craig Counsell not having a shot at this thing?
No, I mean, you left one of the managers in the NL Central out of that conversation. That's the only issue that I had with that. I mean,
Yep. If you want to go ahead and take Don Kelly, I say go for it.
You named
Listen, man. Hey, I'm not. It sounded smart ass, but I'm not totally dismissing where you're going with a Don Kelly pick. So if that's where you want to go ahead.
Look, if I'm going to support my Bucko brethren here, then Don Kelly would absolutely be the pick. But I tend to agree with you, Jay Hay, as far as Mendoza goes and the Mets go. While they're probably not going to be the team that I think is going to win the division, I think a closely fought battle throughout the entire season does put Mendoza on that radar. And I think the best thing that could happen is Juan Soto has the type of year that everybody expects him to have or wants him to have as a New York Met. And that bolsters not only their chances in the division, but that bolsters a guy like Carlos Mendoza's chances to be acknowledged as a guy who was able to bring this team together and was able to get them over the hump that they want to clear. So I think I'm with you on the Carlos Mendoza pick.
You guys are both going Mendoza.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas loves Mendoza. I'm not joining you, but I am staying within the division. Oakland A's legend Walt Weiss.
Oh,
yeah. After his tenure with the Rockies, hitting as a guy that hit 3 home runs in the regular season, but came up and hit a moon bomb in the World Series for the A's. Guys just got it. And now he's at the helm of the Atlanta Braves, and I think that they're just a team that last year it was a dog shit year, but they're not a dog shit team. They're just not. So if they end up going from dog shit to top of the penthouse in the NL East, then why not? Why not Walt Weiss? So that's the pick. And last but not least, the NL Comeback Player of the Year. I'm going with a player that I really, really like. I like this player a lot. I feel like he doesn't get enough love. I tried to give him as much love as possible during the WBC, which he had a good showing. And I feel like that's going to be a precursor to getting back to where he was a couple of years ago in terms of production, performance, and games played. He's going to have all the opportunity in the world to get playing time. The comeback player of the National League in 2026 is going to be Ezequiel Tovar. After a not very good 2025 campaign, was limited playing time wise, and then performance was also limited. I think he's a hell of a fucking player. I wish he was more of a household name. I also there's a gentleman, I mentioned this on the stream, Dallas. I need to explain this to you as well. But there's a guy I'm talking to about doing like a sponsorship deal with. And the first time that we spoke on the phone was opening day. And I called him and I was like, hey, his name's Ben. I was like, what's up, Ben? He's like, what's going on, man? I was like, just excited for opening day. Happy opening day to you. And he was like, today's the worst day of my entire life. And I said, oh what? No. I was like, why? And he's like, I'm a Rockies fan. And we just started we didn't talk business until 15 minutes later. We were 15 minutes into the first 15 minutes of this phone call were just entirely about the Rockies. But the way that he was talking, like, for example, there's people that you talk to walking around Saugus and they're like, oh, Bregman left. And like, you can tell, like, they just read the headlines and they regurgitate them and they try to seem like they're in the know. But this dude couldn't have been more in the weeds in Colorado Rockies culture. Like he is a diehard Rockies fan who it was like it was like a diagnosis. Like he couldn't get rid of it. It was just like, yes, I'm a diehard obsessed Rockies fan. I wish I wasn't, but there's nothing I can do about it. And so I told him before we switched the conversation to business, I was like, I would love to do business with you. I hope that this deal works out. However, if we don't end up doing a deal with each other, I need you to know that you are officially the Baseball is Dead Rockies correspondent. Whenever the Rockies come up, I am going to cold call you to come on the show and talk about that topic. Like, he was fucking hilarious. I don't want to set a high bar for him because, like, there's been times where it's like, we'll give someone a shot on the show and it's like, oh, like, you weren't as, like, funny on the show. Like, they get nervous when they're on the show versus just like talking in person. But this guy, like he reminds me of Max a lot, but he might be the funniest single team correspondent that we could ever have for the show. Like, I'm dying for a Rockies story to take the forefront of the baseball conversation just so I can call this guy and just let him go and just mag dump on the Rockies. Yeah. So his name is Ben, and just putting that on everyone's radar so that they're like, who is this guy? That's who he is. He's the most diehard Rockies fan I've ever met in my life, and his sense of humor is perfect for this show.
Well, I look forward to the Rockies doing well so we can all meet Ben and enjoy Ben's perspective, because it sounds like a good time. And the Rockies need, frankly, we could say this every year, the Rockies need every bit of positivity that they can get coming their way.
Yeah. He ain't bringing it. No, but great. he did after the call, like, despite, the pain, anguish, and agony that the Rockies cause him, he sent me a picture that he was wearing Rockies socks for opening day. So it's like, and he lives in the Boston area. Like, it's, it was a local, it's a big business, but they're local. And just because I respect that. Like, when you relocate, if you're from like the Denver area and your team's fucking awful and you move to a place like Boston where like the Red Sox are such a big part of the culture, and Fenway so iconic, and he's like, nope, I'm a Rockies fan. It is what it is. There's nothing I can do. I don't want to be, but I just am. So
yep, I respect that.
Yeah.
My
Dallas NL comeback player of the year.
Yeah, I was bouncing back and forth between two guys. One of the guys, I mean, does Zach Wheeler qualify?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, because how many starts did he make last year? He made over 20 starts, didn't he? Like,
yeah, it was still a lot, but like that falls into the category of like coming back from something that isn't just injury or suck.
What's a
like
combination?
He's coming back from something. Like, it's not like he fucking had a bum hammy and that's why he missed a bunch of starts. It's like thoracic outlet syndrome is something that ends careers. So if he comes back and performs well, then it's like, yeah, you're coming back from that.
Yeah. So that's my pick. The other guy that I was considering was Brandon Woodruff. But yeah, my comeback player of the year is going to be Zach Wheeler.
Yeah.
Wheels.
So that makes sense to me, because Brandon Woodruff made like 12 starts last year. Like he came back and he pitched well. So I don't know. It's not like he's ineligible for comeback player of the year this year, but like he kind of came back last year and looked good.
And that was what I was like, is that going to be considered like, well, he came back. Okay, but he came back, but I mean, he made, under half the starts that he would have made in a healthy season. Are we going to hold that against him? Is that a small enough body of work to not be considered a comeback, or is that a big enough body of work for you to go, well, he came back and he was healthy and he finished healthy, so what do you got?
Yeah. Like I think if it's very much on the line, but if Brandon Woodruff had only made single digit starts last year, I probably would have taken him, but it was like he almost pitched like half a season.
Yeah, so I'm going Wheels. Wheels is my guy.
Zach Wheeler, Ezekiel Tovar, and
Zach Wheeler. That's pretty much just it. Yeah, it's pretty much just blind faith that when he does come back, and based off the latest reporting, he's still on track to come back at the end of April. I believe Sandy Alcantara is the
favorite,
kind of betting favorite right now.
Yep.
I'm more confident that Zach Wheeler comes back and pitches well minus a month than I am that Sandy Alcantara can take full advantage of the quote unquote extra month that he's been given over Zach Wheeler. So that's kind of my thought process there. And presumably, if he does come back, he's going to be pitching deep into the season because of where the Phillies will be playing and what they'll be playing for. So Zach Wheeler has done nothing but be among the very best pitchers in the sport when he's pitched. And while the medical issue is very serious, potentially, if he is at this point trending towards being back in a couple of weeks or a month, then I'm pretty optimistic that we're going to see a good version of him when he comes back.
Yeah. I just think, what it boils down to is that if you're coming back from something career threatening, I'm going to give you a much greater edge than someone that's coming back from suck,
Yeah.
Okay. Now we get into our division winner and wild card picks. This is where it gets a little dicey because I'm sure we're going to have teams that are similarly getting into the postseason, but maybe not in taking the same path. Because I know I got Jay Hay saying that the Mets are winning the division. Yeah, you said that?
That is what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, so I also have the Mets. I'm also heavy on the Mets, but I don't even have them winning the division this year. Isn't that crazy?
Shit.
So here's where we're going to start. We're going to start with the American League East. And I don't think I'm not being you can't be a homer for your own division. I think that's
being a homer.
No, I don't think that you can be a homer for your own division. You can be a homer for your own team, but I'm just calling it like I see it. I'm calling it how I think it's going to play out. I have the Toronto Blue Jays winning the American League East, but I have 3 AL East teams as the wild card. I don't think that there's a team. Yeah, I've got the Red Sox, Yankees, and Orioles as my wild card teams. I got 4 AL East teams making the postseason this year.
I am one short
I think
of
the Orioles are better than the Rangers. I think the Orioles are better than the Royals. So we'll see. The Guardians. We'll see how it plays out. But I like the O's. The A's made me look like a fucking idiot last year. So I can't. I went on national television being like, you know what, Roflo? You know who I got in the postseason? The fucking green and gold.
Buddy, you weren't the only person who was riding the green and gold train until the green and gold train went off the rails for almost a month.
Manipulation. Like if I did a show,
20-game stretch.
If baseball is dead, baseball is dead was me, Jay Hay, and Eric Burns. Do you think I'm fucking going on national TV being like, Roflo, you know who's making it to the big dance? The fucking A's. It's you.
Do you understand? Do you understand that the A's very well would have been a division contender, not a wild card hopeful, division contender if they don't lose 20 out of fucking 21 games. No, it's not. It's
we
not
don't
just
lose
a simple
all those
thing.
fucking games. If it weren't for those 20 games that we lost, we would have won the whole thing. No one's talking about that.
You know the difference. There's a difference between
you
losing
didn't just
20
have a bad
games
stretch. You had a fucking
40-game stretch.
20 out of 21 losses.
That's an absolutely hellacious place to be. No, you can't.
You know who you sound like, Dallas? You sound like me.
If you win half of those,
you don't want to sound like that.
If you win half of those games,
but
things
they
look
didn't.
very different.
Very different.
It was the worst
if they
lull
won
in
more games
franchise
than they
history.
lost, the season looks completely different. No one's talking about that.
I can respect you. Look, so you're going. Who'd you say you got? What you got the Toronto Blue Jays winning the division because you just refused to pick the Yankees as division winner, right?
Well, they're not better than the Blue Jays. They're just not. I got the Blue Jays winning the division. Red Sox, Yankees, Orioles as the wild card teams. Yeah.
So I also have the Blue Jays winning the division. And that, like I said,
You don't have the balls to pick
up,
the Yankees?
No, they're going to be in the wild card mix. It's going to be the Jays who win the division. It'll be the A's. It'll be the Red Sox. And it'll be the Yankees in the wild card.
I'm not buying what you're selling, unfortunately. Jay, hey?
Still doing just the AL East, right?
Yeah, I mean, I started with the AL East, and then I just revealed my wild card teams because it's all AL East teams.
Yep. So I am going with the Yankees to win the AL East, and I have both the Blue Jays and the Red Sox as wild card entries via the AL East.
And you're not revealing your third because that would give away your AL Central pick.
Well, I've already done that, so I'll continue, I guess, because I'm taking the Detroit Tigers, as I've alluded to, for the AL Central, but I'm taking the Kansas City Royals to capture the third wild card spot. I think them and the Orioles and the Rangers, for that matter, are similarly, and A's really. I think that grouping of teams are similarly talented.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the Royals are a slightly better balanced unit, although that all assumes that Carlos Estevez is going to be removed from the closer role sooner rather than later, because I don't think a guy throwing 79-mile-an-hour fastballs is going to play. So they need to figure that part out. But yes, I'm going to stick with Jays, Red Sox, Royals as my 3 wildcard teams.
Okay. It's not right, but okay.
Well,
we
shout out
agree
to
on
a
the
mini
AL Central.
Pasquantino breakout. Yep. A lot of people are saying that.
Yeah.
Unlock the next step.
Could be. We agree on the AL Central. I'm going with the Tigers. Dallas, agree or disagree?
Agree. Tigers, Motor City Kitties.
Yep. And then I feel like we all probably have the same team, the AL West.
The Mariners.
That's right. You're Los Angeles Angels.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Excuse me?
Yeah, the Mariners.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jared, you chugging the semen?
Of course. By the gallon.
That's right.
Yep. By the way, Donovan's going to be a great fit over there. I really like the fit of him in Seattle. Yeah.
I think there's a real chance that like the Central and the West are both won by like 8 to 10 games. I think that's a viable.
You're that far out on the Astros.
That this season. Yeah. I mean, it's not even clear to me that the Astros are better than the Rangers, or that either of those teams are definitively like maybe a couple of games better, but I don't think they're in a different class than the A's. I think it's the Mariners. I think it's the grouping of the other 3 teams, and I think it's the Angels at the bottom.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Rangers are probably a team that people are sleeping on in terms of how good they'll be, like winning record wise. I don't know that they're going to threaten for a playoff spot, but I do think that they could be a winning ball club this year for sure. Like they're going to be in the conversation when we're looking up in, mid-August, closing in on September, and we're looking at the playoff picture. It's like, well, don't count out the Rangers. Like the Rangers are going to be there.
Well, and I want to say something about the A's too, because obviously Dallas will be all over it during the season, but just it's been mostly cold water on that idea. Like if the A's make the playoffs this year, that to me is they're a year early sort of thing. Like nothing about their behavior this offseason suggested to me that we must or we expect to take a massive leap forward into the postseason, because like the pitching staff is still, in my opinion, very much a work in progress.
Yep.
And yes, you got Luis Severino 2 off seasons ago, but like it's mostly internal guys. It seems like that they're now counting on for steps forward, and that's probably how it should go. But it's not like they went out and signed Framber to add on top of this and are like, okay, it's go time right now. Offense needs to click.
He's still out there.
What?
Why? Like,
dude,
have you heard anything, Dallas, in terms of like the A's?
Look, what I can tell you is that I know that there is interest. That's about as far as I'll take it. And Jay, to answer or just to give insight to what you're talking about, the reason that there is optimistic around the industry or optimism around the industry regarding the Athletics, and it does come from in-house options. And I think there are high expectations for young pitchers to be able to come up and make an impact. All right. Now, the loftiest expectation, in my opinion, is that Jamie Arnold at some point in time makes an impact in the big leagues. All right. That's a guy that just threw his first professional innings this year. So whether or not that's the case, I'm not quite sure that that's going to be a thing. But there is a fellow by the name of Gage Jump that there is a ton of justified optimism around because his shit plays at the big league level. It's really just about making sure that he's, in my opinion, that he's in a place mentally where he can handle any sort of setback that he might encounter because this is the big leagues. It's a very different world. And when you take those lumps in the big leagues, there's no next step to take where you say to yourself, well, you know what? I can learn here because I'm going to get to this next level. No, this is the level. This is it. And if it's a gut check or if it's a reality check that you hit and you have a tough time cashing that check, you go back down. And do you want that to happen to a guy who you think can ultimately help impact you, getting you to the postseason? You don't want that to be the case because you shoot a guy's confidence like that early, and that becomes an even steeper hill to climb, regardless of what his stuff looks like, regardless of how competitive his arsenal could be. But that's why there's optimism around, I think, what the Athletics would be able to do in any sort of postseason capacity. But the fact that we know it's, number one, going to be very difficult for you to bring in anybody into that ballpark and be competitive,
especially
in terms of
guy.
Yeah, how their stuff's going to play. And that's, I think, in my opinion, that could be a big reason why the gap has to get closed with guys. And the only way to do that is monetarily. And that's where you say, all right, we're willing to spend X here to get you to come because we know you're going to make, essentially half your starts in a ballpark that could really skew your numbers. And if we're not going to lock you up for a long-term phase, well, we understand that you would then have to take these numbers to market in a season where that will absolutely be held against you, right? And with 2027 looming, you now just kind of fast forward to 2028. And do you want to take numbers from a minor league ballpark into free agency in a truncated 2027 or a 2027 that may not happen? And now you're out a year, and the last body of work that you have to take to market in 2028 is skewed by a performance in a minor league ballpark. Now it's a sell job. Right now, your representatives kind of have to go to work and get somebody to overlook what those numbers look like, just to get you into the conversation. So I understand why it's such a tough hill to climb.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with pretty much everything you guys said as far as the A's go. Like, I will be much more confident picking them in a year or two when their homegrown pitching becomes part of the equation and we see what that looks like. But if there's help on the way, I have a hard time thinking that it's going to come from outside the org. But I fully recognize that help is on the way from internal options, and that's real. Like that's outside of the Dallas propaganda machine. Like that's the internal pitching help arriving at a time where, they've signed so many guys to extensions, and we'll see what happens on the Nick Kurtz front from an extension standpoint. It's going to take a lot, but fuck it. Like that's the guy that you make the exception for if it's not an organizational thing that we've ever done. Like I hate that. We've never really done that before. It's like, okay, we'll start to fucking do it if you're serious about winning. So we'll see. Yeah, I think the A's stock is rising. I'm not there yet. I took the bait last year. I was smarter about it this year, but that's not to say that I won't be back in to buy that A's stock in a year or two. Okay. So then we get to the National League predictions. I've got the Atlanta Braves winning the NL East. Justin Havens has the Mets. Dallas, you're joining him because I feel like you can't pick Mendoza for manager of the year and not win the division.
No, the fuck I can't. I just did. I'm also going with the Braves.
Can I ask you guys?
Yeah.
Are you guys not concerned about the injuries so far? Just think the talent's that overwhelming, or what's happening there?
I stuck with my picks from 10 days ago.
But even 10 days ago, their pitching staff was pretty decimated. Like obviously, I know a lot of projection systems have them as the division winner, so I'm not trying to say this is stupid shit or something like that. I'm just like, I have been scared off of the Braves because of the injury devastation that has already wrought upon their pitching staff primarily.
It's a fair concern. But again, Lucas Giolito's still out there. This is not a team that is afraid to make a deal and patch holes. This is a team that has lost Ronald Acuna Jr. in the middle of a summer and still won the World Series. So consider me a guy that trusts the process in Atlanta and still thinks that they find a way, and that last year was just an aberration. Dallas, any other thing to add on the Braves?
No, I mean, I feel like this will be the season where once they start to see how the health has bounced back in terms of the lineup, in terms of offensive production, I think a lot of folks expect Austin Riley to have a big year. I think that they're going to be kind of like I was talking about with the Mariners last year and their pitching staff, forcing the front office to make moves to supplement what they have going on offensively. This could almost be a flip where the lineup is going to show you and remind you just how tough they are, how from top to bottom they can be very, very difficult at bats. And you're going to look up and go, you know what we need to do to help separate us right now? We need help on the mound. And then they go and get that help.
Yeah.
I just want to say one quick thing about the Mets, since they were my pick, and to kind of push that pick a little bit. I am extremely optimistic about what the Mets starting pitching looks like relative to last season. And they were, barring an epic collapse, they were in the mix to win the division last season. And I think I've touched on my concerns with kind of the Phillies' aging core and what that might do to the offense over the course of the season, and the deterioration that they've suffered on the pitching staff from departures and Wheeler's lack of availability. But the Mets rotation to start last year was like, it felt like Sean Manaea and like 4 question marks, and then Sean Manaea was hurt to start the season, and then so it was just a bunch of question marks. And right now, it just feels rock solid to a point where their projected number 5, at least according to the source I'm looking at, who is Senga, is somebody that I'm like extremely enthusiastic about this season and love the chances of a bounce back for Senga this year, because last year struck me as not a guy who was toast and just ready to be kind of out of a rotation and back in the minor leagues. It was a guy who had just kind of lost it. And I think most of the reports suggest that he has found some of it again. And if that's your number 5, a guy who had previously been the number 1 on this rotation, I just feel like between Peralta, Peterson, McLean, Holmes, and Senga, and the kind of shifting around of priorities as it related to the offense and the defense and position player allotment, I'm just extremely enthusiastic about what the Mets might be able to accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Like the biggest surprise there again could be, and maybe surprise is the wrong word, but a guy who I think really helps kind of bridge the gap there between the top and the bottom of the rotation is Clay Holmes. I mean, I don't think there can be enough said about being able to make the transition from a guy who was taking the ball 60 plus times a year to then entering into the starting rotation, giving you 160 plus innings, taking the ball 30 plus times, and having really good success. Like that's
is it fair to say that this is the year that we judge him as a starter? So I feel like you make that transition year 1, like your body is experiencing something completely different. Now I feel like year 2, it's go time, and year 1 looked pretty good. So year 2, it's like, yeah, all right, like
Jared, year 1 was exceptional. Like I said, 160 plus innings, if I'm not mistaken, like a 3.5 ERA, maybe just under a 3.5 or just over 3.5, in that neighborhood. And for that to be what you do after being in the bullpen for your whole career, basically, and making that transition and adapting physically, because that's the biggest part about adapting to the role in the rotation is creating the routine for yourself. And not only routine workload wise, but rest and recovery wise. And when you make that transition and are able to post every start that you're slated for, that's massive.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say there's no holes in the rotation, but they've got like Peterson, Holmes,
very solid,
Peralta,
very solid.
Yeah, like you're gonna have a chance to win every time out. Like there's no like fuck, it's so and so day, you know. So yeah, and then I guess if there were some sort of question mark, you could look at like a Kodai Senga situation from like a health perspective and be like, what's that going to look like? But when healthy, it's like, fuck yeah, dude. Like I'm confident with Senga on the mound. So we'll see how it shakes out. It's obviously going to take more than 5 guys in the rotation to get it done for the Mets. But regardless to say, my NL East division winner is the Atlanta Braves. Of course, I have the Mets making the playoffs. Of course, I have them as my top wild card team. The Mets are my number 1 wild card spot. Followed by, I got a lot of love for the East this year. I got all AL East teams making the wild card, and then I have 3 NL East teams making the postseason between the Braves as the division winner, the Mets as the number 1 wild card, the Phillies as the number 2 wild card, followed by the Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs are my last wild card team, which means the Milwaukee Brewers are once again division winners. My Milwaukee Brewers are the NL Central champions. Where do you guys fall in the NL Central?
I mean, that's a very good pick. It's not the right pick, but it's a very good pick. The Chicago Cubs will be winning that division. The Chicago Cubs are going to win that division. And yeah, I just think, and especially when you think about what they've just done recently, locking up a couple of key pieces to their future in PCA and Horner. I think PCA is in for another good year. Horner provides not only stellar defense, he's going to put the ball in play, right? The strikeout numbers, the walk numbers, look, those are both, I mean, they're not jumping off the chart at you, and it's because he doesn't punch out. It's because he doesn't walk. He just puts the ball in play. And I think a lot of good things happen when you put the ball in play as consistently as he does. With that being said, PCA is a star and possibly a superstar in the making. The dude is about as good as it gets defensively. He is an elite defender. He's got the rare combo of speed and power, right? 30-30 guy. Like, this dude is legit. He's a hell of a ball player. A lot of fun to watch. I think the Chicago Cubs are, in my opinion, I don't want to say easy division winners, but I think they're going to clear that bar relatively fine. I think they're going to be just fine. Looking for a big season from Shota Imanaga, but I do think that there's probably a couple questions in that rotation because they've got some aging veterans, right? Matt Boyd, Tyon, and Imanaga's no spring chicken himself, but it's going to be the Cubs in the division, and I also have the Phillies and the Mets in the wild card spots. And it's easy to go with the Brewers, Jared. It's easy to go with the Brewers, but I can't leave the storybook season for the Pittsburgh Pirates out of this equation. I'm going Bucko sneaking into the wild card, just because.
Okay. Jay?
Yep, got the Mets in the East. I have the Phillies snagging a wild card spot there as well. I'm going with the Cubs in the NL Central. I think the points about the pitching staff are fair. I'm very high on what Cade Horton and Edward Cabrera, so basically the non-old guys that Dallas listed, are going to be bringing in 2026. And I think the offense is going to be bordering on overwhelming for large stretches of the season. I think it's easily the class of the division from that standpoint. And of course, adding Alex Bregman is a piece of that. But I also expect them to get. I think the depth there is good. I expect Matt Shaw to have a good season, and I think Ballesteros is going to give them some nice work out of kind of like the catcher DH spot or however they choose to ultimately use him there. And then Brewers is a wild card team. And listen, Dallas said just for fun for the Pirates. And I know I'm known as, kind of the Pirates hater on the podcast. I think they are a fully viable wild card team. I think the Braves may be more talented on paper if all of their players are playing and contributing. But I'm also going to go with the Pirates as a wild card team this year.
Let's go, Jay! Welcome aboard!
I think Thank you. Yep, we're raising expectations a little bit this year, and not to be like, a backhanded compliment, but I think my expectation is that the barrier for entry for this last wild card spot is going to be like in the 83 to 84 win range, and I think the projections say that's a totally. That is where the Pirates reside, and I think that's I think they're going to be the ones who get it done.
I was going to say, like the last thing I looked, the Buccos are like 80. I think they're projected for 82 wins, 82, 83 wins.
Yeah, yep. I had 83, but yeah, whatever it is, it's the same idea. Yeah, 82. You're right, 82.3. Yep.
Love it.
Okay. I think the NL West there's no point to even have that discussion.
There's no point to have the discussion on who's going to win it, but does anybody have any wild card spots left for any of the other NL West teams?
No, I don't.
All right. I think that's at least a brief discussion that the Padres, Giants, and like, I at least intuitively understand why somebody would not pick these teams, but like the fact that no one is even considering the Giants as a postseason team, dude. Okay, so you consider them, but they can't even meet the threshold that we're talking about with the fucking Pirates or whoever your last wild card team is. Who was it? Like
the Cubs.
So the Cubs, Phillies,
Mets.
Okay.
Yeah, mine's.
I don't know, man.
Mine's
like,
a little bit more
feel
logical
like,
than having the fucking.
No,
Pirates
it's not. It's not a commentary on your picks. I feel like that the expectations are so low for the Giants is a condemnation of what they've put together over there. And if not the Buster Posey era, then at least like, I think the level of criticism, and it's already coming for Vitello, as we've seen so far, the lens is hot on him right now. But like, that's one thing. The other thing is that they are 0-3 and that they have shown no signs of life as an offense. And like that they've shown no signs of life as an offense after multiple seasons of being a really questionable offensive team is a very bad sign for me, because I don't know that the starting rotation and the rest of the team is good enough to compensate for an offense that's still not good enough despite the financial investments that they've made in it. And if that's the case, like, I just don't know where this leaves the Giants. Like, if they're a 78 win team this year, like, where do you go from there? Because the team is simultaneously not young and now heavily invested in the present day roster. So I just feel like the level of pressure that is associated with the Giants is, I don't know, there's like a disconnect between I feel like the pressure that's on them and how seriously people are not taking them as a viable contender.
And do you think it's because they probably didn't have, like, they didn't have a sexy or exciting offseason? Like, they're still a good team.
They took on $200 whatever million with Devers last year. Like,
yes, but
I know
that's what I'm saying is, like, that was a June acquisition,
it's just kind of gotten
versus
washed
like
away
a
in the
winter
minds of
one.
people.
Like, I think when people go into their brand new season and they evaluate and they're like, oh yeah, the Giants because they did X, Y, and Z. It's like, yeah, like they brought on Devers, but that wasn't an off-season move. Like, what was their big off-season move that I'm blanking on? Did they have one?
No, that is a completely fair point. That their transactions have happened, what, at this point, 8 months ago?
Yeah.
So it is behind people's minds. I'm looking at it as we have $150 million invested in Matt Chapman. We invested $175 million in Willy Adames. We have 200 whatever remaining on the Rafael Devers investment, and every other player that is in our lineup is basically either an old person or somebody who should be in their prime. In the case of like a Patrick Bailey or something like that. So, and I'm not including Bryce Eldridge because he's not currently playing, but, and that's another thing. Like, is Bryce Eldridge going to show up? Is he going to make an impact this year? Didn't make the roster out of spring training. He would be the guy to point to for like a youthful future in San Francisco. But I don't know. Maybe a little overly dramatic for 3 games in, but it also feels like that's the tone that the team is taking with the Vitello comments and then the media's and the people's reaction to his own comments. It's just not a good start. It's not a good start, regardless of what you feel like his managerial capabilities are.
Can we talk about that, by the way? The Tony V.
We should.
Like,
well, dude,
he's like, maybe
this is what I want to say about this. Well, so that right there, that comment, there's an air of sarcasm to that comment from Tony V. And that's where I think you have to know the personality. You have to know who he is. So while he says that and he almost, it's almost a deadpan response and you're like, oh, wait, you're joking, huh? But I don't know that because I don't know you. And I don't have the experience that I have had with guys who have been in this dugout for extended periods of time, like a Bruce Bochy, right? Or like a Dusty Baker type personality. And so when you're used to guys like that, you get to know them, and it's because they've been there for a fucking decade plus. So it's understandable. And I'll say this about the media, specifically in the Bay Area, where if they smell just a hint of storylines, right? They're not necessarily looking to drum up and cause trouble, but if there's something that could be talked about and could be looked at from multiple perspectives, the Bay Area media will do that. And especially with the Giants because of the hype that surrounds them. And I think looking at Robbie Ray's response to what Tony V said is like, hey, we're professionals. Like we're going to be okay. We know how to handle this. We're fine. And I'm not saying that he was mocking him by using the word professional. No, I'm just saying he was addressing something that came out of his manager's mouth and was just reminding the people who were asking the questions at the time that we're professionals. We got this. We'll be just fine. And then the response from Willie Adames, who did it very quickly, but was asked about being pulled out of the game, lifted as a pinch runner. And he said, it's the first time it's happened in my career. Tony V makes the decisions. So it's like, hold on. You wanted us to know that that's the very first time that that's ever happened to you in your career. Got that. We did not just not hear that. And you also are reiterating the fact that your manager makes the decisions. Okay. So if you're trying to look at this from a storyline perspective, well, there's your storyline, right? There's the story that you can start to create.
I also just feel like his comments and his behavior, without trying to overly psychoanalyze, feel like a person who is not comfortable, because these all feel like unforced errors to a large degree. Like his comments about the team being overexcited, kind of overhyped. Like, regardless of whether he attributed that to his own speech or whether that was a mischaracterization of how he said it, or even if he's just saying these professional men are overexcited through the last thing that I am spending my time doing or want to spend my time doing is parsing managers' words a couple of games into the season. Mm-hmm. But like, for him to say that before the media reaction came in, when he said 2 games in, when he was making comments like that, I was like, oh, like that feels extremely early to be saying things like that, as in both his capacity and just within the course of a Major League Baseball season, to like already be doing that. Yeah, we're 2 games in, and like I know one of them was like a high profile season opener, a national game, and whatever, and a lot of eyes were on you, but like it was still just 2 of 162, and like having no stake in Tony V being a success or a failure, that caught my ear, and I was just like, we're 2 games, and that's what I'm seeing already. And it's like, and then you just add on the other anecdotal stuff, like the stuff from spring where he asked, I think it was Slusser, where it was like, where did you hear about when I officially took the job? And was like, was like parsing and disputing over like 72 hours and reporting about something that had happened months ago. And it's like you don't feel comfortable here. It doesn't feel like you're operating like the way that he would be comfortable operating. And I don't know whether that's going to work itself out or not, but obviously being 0-3 and scoring, not scoring runs is not a good way to start.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take a big step back and look at this from like a human, like a human interest perspective, but I think for me, being a lifelong underdog, you pull for guys who have a tough hill to climb. And what better way for a guy to come into the professional ranks with the odds stacked against him, with people lined up waiting for him to fail? Because if you're looking at two different lines, the people who want him to succeed and the people who want him to fail, well, that latter line is much longer than the people who want him to succeed. And understanding that, I do inherently start to think like, man, let's hope you make the right moves. Let's hope you can ingratiate yourself to the clubhouse sooner rather than later. Let's hope you can show them that you can make the adjustment from leading young men to leading professionals. And those two things can blend at times where you have young men who are professionals. But when you get to the pro ranks, like A-ball is significantly different than your D1 schools. Just straight up. Significantly different. We're dealing with completely different animals. And that's what you have to get used to. You have to understand. And you're going from D1 to the big leagues. And we're skipping all the steps in between.
I also feel like there's almost a part of this move that if you didn't know anything else about the hire, you might think this is something that an analytics guy in the front office did. This is something that a GM who didn't have playing experience drove because they were thinking outside of the box or wanted to be the next progressive thing that people were doing. And then you remember that it is a World Series winning former MVP, icon of the franchise, who has been in the dugouts, who has been in the clubhouses, who thought this move is not only this move would work and is a good idea. And I'm not saying it is or is not a good idea, but that wrinkle to me is very interesting because it just, the credibility that people would want to strip away from Tony V feels like there's some backing to it because it's Buster Posey's hire. And you're going to tell Buster Posey that he doesn't know what's going to work in a clubhouse or wasn't there, doesn't get it. You can't say that. So where does that leave us? And that to me is an interesting. That's a support level that I don't think you would typically find in this situation.
I think it leaves us having to be fair in criticizing the fact that move can still be questionable, and you can still look at the multi-time world champion, the MVP, the surefire Hall of Fame catcher in Buster Posey. You can still look at him and go, Buster, we know what you come with. We know what you know. We know what you represent. Can you be honest and understand and answer us and say that this is a risky decision? And with risk could very well come reward. But we're not going to overlook the fact that there is risk here. And if you're just going to try to sell us on all of the positives that could potentially come about, well, then that's being disingenuous in acknowledging the situation that you have put the franchise in. Because it does seem like a roll of heavy dice. And maybe dice that are not weighted in your favor. And you have to acknowledge that. You simply have to. You can't just say to yourself, never mind the fact that he has no professional experience. Never mind the fact that he has no idea who our players are. Never mind the fact that he's going to be trying to get to know these guys within a short amount of time. Because that's also part of bringing coaching staffs together, right? Is these are guys that they have worked with through the minor league systems. These are guys that other guys have coached in different organizations, guys that have spent time with other guys in winter ball. You know what I mean? Like the professional world is just different. It's just different. And so to not acknowledge that would be disingenuous. And I don't know that, I'm not saying that Buster hasn't done that, but to not do so publicly when he gets asked those questions, that would be the disingenuous aspect of it.
Anyways, Giants missing the playoffs is the, I feel like the crux of that. Okay. Now we arrive at our World Series matchup part of the prediction pod that concludes with our World Series winner. And I'll have you know that I only shared this part of my predictions with one other person on planet Earth. Who do you think that person was?
The dog who ate Coley's earbuds.
It was Eamon's earbuds.
Or Eamon's earbuds.
And
sorry.
Ellen brought earbuds to replace them. Like
Saw
the
that.
saint that she is.
I'm going to say that you texted. I don't know. I don't know if you have his number, but maybe the manager of the team that's.
Nope. This is someone that is very closely affiliated, but not employed by the team that I'm having go all the way. Someone that's been on the podcast multiple times. Someone that whenever we talk about this team, we may call this individual. You know what? Why don't I call him right now?
Series. You got the Mets going to the World Series?
Let me call this guy right now.
Wow.
All right, Rocket. You got me pretty fresh right now. What's up?
And for the World Series matchup and World Series winner part of the prediction pod, I have the Seattle Mariners going to the Fall Classic to take on the New York Mets, in which I do have the Mets winning the World Series in 2026. Clem, how do you feel about that pick?
As a wise man once said on The Simpsons many years ago, nothing can possibly go wrong. nothing wrong with that prediction. The Mariners and Mets fans, just extremely satisfied, happy fan bases with nothing but good luck and good fortune on their side throughout the year. So, heck of a pick, Rocket. I'm happy to be riding with you.
Thank you. I felt good about. I feel even better about it now because as I showed you last night, I do have the Braves winning the NL East. But I do think that the Mets are more built for October, and Jay Hay picked the Mets to win the division and seems to be pretty gung-ho on what the Mets might be capable of doing in 2026. Where are you as an individual? Where's your head at with this Mets team?
I mean, it's 68 degrees right now. The sun is shining. I'm a wild man this time of year. I'm like Superman. I'm powered by the yellow sun of Earth. I'm a crazy person. On our podcast, I'm always the highest in terms of the belief. I was laughed out of the room when I said 96 wins in 2022, and we had 101 or whatever. I'm at 98 wins right now, Jared. I'm right there with Jay Hay. And listen, when I saw you pick the Braves in first, you realize I didn't criticize you because, listen, good baseball is good baseball. But what's the one thing that always beats good baseball? Dark magic. And that's what the Braves have had since I was a child. Yeah. So it's like, just pick the dark magic over everything else. You never know what could happen. Even with their injuries, they figure their guys will somehow come back stronger or pitch with their other arm and, rediscover or discover a new pitch that's never been used yet. Like, you just have to expect nothing but the worst from the Braves as Mets fans. So I didn't hate that, but I'm riding with Jay Hay. I'm going first place. We got the pitching, we got the hitting, and if we bought low on Louis Robert Jr. and he does what he did, the La Pantera comes out and starts eating people alive, we're in a good place. So nothing but positivity here on, we're not even in April yet. Oh, this season is going to be so long.
This season is going to be so long. It's going to be a fun ride. I'm happy to be a part of it. I know that Mets fans, so what's your take on how you think Mets fans are going to receive me picking them to win the World Series? Are they going to be like, all right, get in, let's ride together? Or are they going to be like, no, please don't believe in us because we want to fly under the radar? Because it feels like the Mets fans are always, there's a little bit of, at least because I'm a Red Sox fan, there's that brotherhood of hating the Yankees. But there's also the Mets fan sector where it's like, you're not one of us, so stay away. It's kind of like the Phillies in that way. Where do you think my World Series pick is going to fall in with the Mets fandom?
Yeah, you're gonna get and you're also gonna get like you're from, you're a Boston guy, so it's like if they are Jets fans, which a lot are, they see you as the enemy, or like the Knicks. Like it's like the New York Boston rivalry. Again, I am very much part of the Mets Sox connection above all. Mm-hmm. It's always beat the Yankees first and foremost, and I love you guys. Again, 2004 is right up there with my top memories as a baseball fan because I'd never seen my team get to the mountaintop, but I saw you guys use the Yankees as their face as a ladder to get to the mountaintop in glorious fashion. I do think a good chunk of Mets fans will be welcoming with open arms. It's an interesting open arms, though. It's kind of like when someone knocks on the door of the crack house, and it's like, oh, we got another one. Come on in, take a hit, and sit in the corner with us, and let's ride this high together for the next 6 months. I'm not saying it's going to be a good time. It's going to have its highs. It's going to have its lows, though, for sure. And we're all just going into it together, for better or worse. For good or bad or Mexi, as I'd like to say. And also, you are going to take a little bit of heat because you did ride this Braves lineup as our team won 101 games, and that like Michael Myers team just kept, gaining on us, just walking at the same speed. So you're going to have a lot of actually old Braves like hatred because you were really riding those Braves pretty hard back in 2022, which again, can't blame you based on everything I've seen from that team my entire life.
For sure. I mean, and I will say that the Braves fan base has embraced me probably more than any other fan base besides the Red Sox and the Brewers. So like the Mets fans, it just feels like a, hey, leave us alone kind of thing. So that's not going to stop me from picking them. It's not going to stop me from picking them and believing what they're capable of doing, but I don't know that I'm going to like bandwagon them. It's kind of just going to be like, you've got my vote of confidence, but I'm going to respect your privacy, and I'm going to be right over here.
That's fine. I'll tell you right now. If it's for me, I'm riding with you. KFC can vouch for you as well. We love having the Rocket on our side, but it's like one of those things. It's like, if you're with us, you're with us. Like, we can't have, pussyfooting, 1 foot in the pool. Mets fans, you're going 2 feet in the pool. You're diving in. You're going underwater. Your head's hitting the floor. You're probably some blood's leaving your body. And you're getting dizzy and not sure what happened. But if you're like, we're just one big, dumb, happy group of people.
Right.
We get sad too, but it's like, if you're with us from day one, you're with us. And I promise you, the vast majority, because like you can't go on the mentions. You go on Twitter, you say, I like nice weather, and you'll have 35 people tell you that, you're a crazy person and you're wrong. So it's like, what are you going to do? You can't win with the internet these days, but I can promise you the vast majority of rational Mets fans, and trust me, there's less and less of those every single day, will welcome the Rocket with open arms, because it's nothing like having an unbiased national baseball, face of the media, just riding with your team from day one. So Rocket, if you're going to do this though, there's no such thing as halfway crooks. Like, you got to go. Are you going 2 feet in on this Mets bandwagon? Like, the door is locked, the child lock is on, windows up, and we are riding until we go off the cliff, or we go down to the Canyon of Heroes, for what, better or worse, or Mets team. Rocket, are you in?
I'm in, Clem. I'm in. I'm in. I'm riding the Mets for the whole year. The pick is in. The pick is locked. I'm a day one 2026 Mets are winning the World Series guy. I'm here.
I love it. So listen, seatbelts on your right. Those other straps, that's also for like, in case you have to go to the mental institute at some point, because there's a lot of straps that go on with the Mets. They just lock us all up, and then they have us ready to go in case we need a couple weeks out of the car and just kind of in a facility to get us back on our feet, kind of a thing. So if you're buckled in, Rocket, I'm riding for you. I want you up front with me. And again, we're going to be fighting these battles together. And the Mariners too, like that's not like, all sunshine and rainbows over there. They have a full gauntlet to go through as well.
Yeah.
But the pitching there, we have some pitching, we got the hitting, and we got, I think, a little bit of juju, some grinders. I kind of like where we're at this season.
I love where we're at. Clearly. Like if I'm riding this thing until the very end, until the final out of let's call it Game 6 of the World Series, then I've got no better team to ride to the end with than both you, our dear friend Kevin Clancy. It's a brotherhood. We're basically blood cousins, but we feel like brothers. You ever have that cousin where it's like, I never had a brother, but like you're basically my brother? That's Mets fans to me.
gotta rob a bank, whose car we taking?
That's
We'll
right.
just throw that into like a New York accent and we'll get it going there. There's no one I'd rather be in this with than you, Rocket. And again, throw the tattoo bat out there. At this rate, I've just decided I'm getting a tattoo if and when the Mets win the World Series during my life. So we're going to just throw a tattoo on the body as well. We'll start trying to, equal Rocket in ink. I have a lot more of a canvas to cover, but I'm going to just try to do whatever I can as long as those, 25 plus men in Queens can handle their job. I can handle my job.
We Gotta Believe is the name of the podcast. Shout out to Clem. He's going to be our Mets guy as we ride this thing all the way to the World Series. Clem, thank you so much for making the time, even though I didn't tell you that I was going to call you today.
Beep, beep, baby. Watch out. There's a truck on the road, and I don't know which way it's going, but hopefully we end up at the Canyon of Heroes Rocket. Happy to have you and anyone else that wants to join. Car door is unlocked right now, but we're locking those car doors in about a week or so, because once we go on that first winning streak, that's when that crackdown has there's a lot of laughs, a lot of, smiles going around. So happy to have you in, baby.
Thank you. Love you, Clem.
Love you too. Good luck the rest of the season to you and the boys, all right?
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Okay.
That's Clem. What a guy. What a guy. Dallas, the World Series matchup and pick, please.
Well, if we're going to watch the world burn in 2027, I think it's got to be the same people standing at the end of it with a torch that had the lighter in their hand at the beginning when they set the fire, and that is the Dodgers. Everybody wants to blame the Dodgers. Everyone wants to hate the Dodgers. And you don't boo nobodies, right? You don't boo nobodies. And I think it's nobody else but the Dodgers that could be standing in that final dance, aside from, well, the team that they're going to be playing. And I believe that team to be the New York Yankees. I believe it's going to be the Dodgers and the Yankees at the end of it all. The Dodgers are in such a position. Oh, excuse me. The Dodgers are in a position where they're telling Blake Snell, hey, you know what? Take all the time you need. Take all the time you need. We'll get you back healthy. We know how the Dodgers operate. And whether it's foolish to think that they can just roll the balls out and show up in October, well, it's something that they've done for a fucking decade plus. So that being said, when it comes time for these wins to really matter, and I'm talking about October, they're geared up and they're as well positioned as anybody in baseball to make another run at this thing. And there's no reason why it won't be the Dodgers standing tall at the end of it all. So Dodgers, Yankees, Dodgers take it home again to give everybody that last little push of hatred needed to go into 2027 with a big question mark on what's happening.
Very stupid pick. Jay?
1997, 2003, 2026. Yuri Perez. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to take one from each of you. And this was my plan before you guys revealed who it was. So this is all very poetic. But my World Series pick. Now we're in New York.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a great voice. The New York Mets, the New York Yankees. We're getting a Subway Series for the first time since, 2000? As you know, 2000. I think it is going to be the Mets, is going to be Yankees. And yeah, I mean, Jared elaborated on the Mets. So Clem, if you're listening, I'm also on this wagon here. But I think that the Yankees now and the Yankees at full strength in a couple of months are going to look like very different teams. That's not really an opinion. That's everybody knows what their pitching staff looks like right now and who's coming back. And I think Garrett Cole is going to acclimate himself very well back into this rotation. I think Cam Schlittler, as much as it annoys me with his online personality, is, I think, a pretty damn effective pitcher. And I think he's going to be a real asset for this team, both in the regular season and the postseason. But I think that, I'm going Yankees, Mets. I mean, listen,
who's winning?
You guys, Dodgers, the Mariners made the ALCS last year. You know, it's like, I'm going with two underdogs, teams that haven't won the World Series in 15 plus years, starved fan bases for some success. Obviously, the Mets haven't won since '86.
Who's winning?
So yeah. What?
Who is winning?
The New York Metro.
That's right.
Politics.
It's
Wow.
the Mets, baby. It's all about the
Wow.
Mets. The Mets, baby. Yeah.
There's going to be the latest console in Mets franchise history.
There you go.
Just a bunch of Soto ball lickers.
I mean, listen, those are $760 million balls. So
Yeah. How much does your balls cost, dude?
yeah, like $8.
I mean, not that much. Just heavily discounted from $760 million.
Yeah.
They're emptier than they used to be.
Sure.
So they're not quite as expensive. Yeah.
Heavily discounted.
So I feel like we've gone about 2.5 hours here just from the predictions, which I certainly didn't anticipate. There's plenty of meat on the bone in terms of, I guess, topics outside of that. Dallas, what time do you have to go?
I need to go in about 25 minutes. That's what time the bus is.
Let's just for right now, let's do some ABS reaction, just because I mean, like that feels like the big story that people are going to be like, what the fuck? They didn't even talk about that. CB Buckner stole the show. I've talked about this at length on Twitter and Section 10 last night, but I feel like there are going to be umpires that the ABS system bullies into early retirement. Like if I were CB Buckner and I have the Cincinnati Reds challenging 5 times and winning that challenge 5 times, sometimes on back-to-back pitches, I think I'd be like, all right, the game has passed me by.
So I have a theory, and I think that we very well may see some grudges like reveal themselves and form very quickly, because damn it, did you just challenge that? Okay, let's take a look. Oh, all right, you know what? You were right. Well, let's see if you have the balls to use a challenge in back-to-back pitches in the same at bat. Do you have the balls? You have the balls. So now I'm gonna do it to you again. I'm gonna call it a strike again. It's 2 inches off the plate. You're gonna do it again? And if you're right, this is what I love about this is instant accountability. The player has the opportunity in the moment to basically say, you're trash, check the tape, without having the risk of being run out of the ballgame. That's the best part about it, because the roar of the crowd, the visual right there, is all you need. Players would have to wait until the next day. Sometimes you'd be able to do it later in the game, where the half inning that you're not hitting, you run up to the clubhouse and you check the tape, you see where the pitch was, and you come back down, and on your way out to your position the next half inning, you go, hey, I went and checked it. I was right. Or I went and checked it, and you know what? Tip of the cap. You got that right. And you can kind of move on. Well, now that's all gone. That's happening, boom, real time. You got something to say about it? Say it. And now the crowd gets to speak for you as a player. You also have to be very aware of how you're going to be using these things, right? What sort of leverage situations? Because I have watched firsthand some poor decisions, no leverage, and the call goes against you. And now you're like, well, shit. Yeah, well, now we're down to one challenge. That really wasn't going to do much for anybody. And what are you going to do now? But I'm very curious to see what sort of grudges start to form, and are we going to have those moments? Because I'm not saying that that's what CB did in that moment, but it kind of feels like
fiending for it.
It kind of feels like, oh wow, okay, all right, you're calling me out. Well, let's see if you got the balls to call me out twice in a row. Oh, you do. Shit. Now I look foolish.
Oh, you do.
Like how much?
Well, that backfired.
Now how much more foolish am I willing to look in this moment, right? And does it start to scare umpires into a certain type of zone or into a certain type of game calling mechanic? And I also I said this last night talking to some of our guys, and I told them, I said, I'm not going to say it publicly, but I'll say it publicly. I just don't like the fact that it's also giving these hitters even more of an opportunity to define their zone in real time, which is going to just make them better. And because it's going to be able to reinforce in real time what they're seeing, because that's why pitchers were and are ridiculed about throwing bullpens, looking back at the iPad, throwing bullpens, why? It's because in real time you get to associate what you just felt with data, and you get that instant feedback. And there's no quicker way to pattern the positive feelings than having that instant feedback. And now hitters are going to be given in real time the opportunity to reinforce the data and their zone. So it's like you're burning the strike zone into their brain every time they feel a call is questionable. And it's like, all right, I know I can't go any farther than that. So I do think there's some benefit here to the hitters as well.
From the clowning of the ump's perspective and the showcase that becomes is certainly one thing. I think the one thing that I drastically underestimated and maybe didn't even consider about ABS when we were talking about it leading up to the season, that is on full display so far, is what I'll call the cultural impact. I can't believe the number of tweets and comments that I am seeing from people that have fucking nothing to do with baseball most of the time, commenting about how variations of this is fucking awesome that these guys can call out the umps in real time. And I'm not saying that anybody listening to this podcast needs to take their sports culture or baseball marching steps from Pat McAfee. But what I will say is that the idea that Pat McAfee just put out a social clip earlier today talking about how he's new to baseball and how baseball is so fucking cool for the changes that it has made as it relates to, and he cites the pitch clock. He cites guys flipping bats after homers, which obviously is not a change, but is something that he's noticing. And then the point of the clip is ABS and what they feel like the impact, and Pat specifically feels like is the impact there, and how much more cool or interesting it has made the sport. Will that last? I don't know. But the idea, I think it's another example of, I love to criticize Rob Manfred and that entire group of people, but I think this feels like another clear win for them in terms of having a feel or a pulse for what was going to transcend the sport in a way that, the pitch clock. The pitch clock was the other thing that Pat cited. So you've got all of these things that have made the sport quicker, better, easier to consume, flashier, all that sort of stuff. And I think it is having the intended impact. Whether that's good or bad, you can decide for yourselves. But from a league growth standpoint, it seems like it's unequivocally good.
Dallas room service just arrived. They're going to probably want to make that bed for you.
Thank you, sir.
Hope they get that taken care of for him. Was there anything else, Jay, in terms of
don't they take his luggage? Don't they take his luggage or something?
Oh, yeah. He's got all that fancy 5-star stuff.
Thank you.
Was there anything dire that you wanted to get to on this one that we can't do on Wednesday?
Oh, no. This is pretty meaty. We can kick the other stuff down the road or down the line. Okay. I thought Vitello and ABS were the two biggest non-awards or prediction stuff. So I think we hit it.
Agreed. Okay. We are going to be, again, live streaming Just the Nuts. JTN is back. It's going to be Tuesday nights starting for the 7 o'clock slate. And we'll probably go to, I don't know, like a little bit into the West Coast games. It'll probably be like 11:30. We might put like a wrap on it. It'll be Tuesday nights until we say otherwise, because I've got my my Red Sox altcast schedule. It doesn't start until May, so we're good to go. We're good to go all of April, but then in May there's I think like total there's like 5 Tuesdays. So, but we'll make it up to you on a different night in that week.
And I also just want to I want to mention, I've been laying the groundwork for when we're at home on the West Coast and you boys have fired up for the 7 o'clock games. That obviously has me down on the field during BP, when I'm down on the field during BP, which means I'm going to be able to grab guys for, a minute, 2 minutes. So I'm trying to think about if there's some sort of like quick fire type shit we want to run these guys through, just quick sort of check-ins on these guys. Obviously we'll know not only the A's players, but we'll know who we're playing, and so I had the idea where we can get together, and whether it's something that we fire off to the Discord, knowing that this is going to be the roster in town. Who do we want to see? Who do we want to try and talk to? And it's going to be a very quick, like on the field, around the cage during BP, maybe even like walking back into the clubhouse after their BP is over type situation. So, yeah, be prepared for that as well.
There's also a camera that was recommended to me recently that hasn't taken off yet in the US, but a lot of streamers are using it overseas. And we could have, because Dallas has his laptop in the booth, I think it'd be cool if we just had Dallas Cam. So it's a streaming camera that would be on a tripod, and he can just mute and unmute during commercials. So he, like, if we're watching the A's game and Nick Kurtz hits a grand slam, you're going to see Dallas's reaction in the booth. And then when they go to commercial, he can unmute and then give reaction to what just happened in the A's game. So yeah, there's a lot of irons in the fire, as they say, to make the stream great. Yeah, I'm very excited about that. The fact that we're getting it going week 1, very excited about that, because we didn't launch this until fucking mid-September last year. But yeah, that's gonna be great. Very excited for JTN. First full year, and Baseball is Dead is back. So again, thank you to everyone that was reaching out, being like, "Where's the pod? Where's the pod?" It was very, I didn't take it as like an annoyance. It was like, this is cool that people are even noticing and wanting it back, and it means something to them. And you could feel that it was missing, and just know that it wasn't from a lack of effort on our side that we were not doing the show for the little mini hiatus that we were on. It was an unfortunate position that we were put in, that we've been able to recover and bounce back from. And it's onward and upward from here. And I know that there are some, people that are like, yeah, they're just going to deal with this in like a year or two. No, we're an independent operation. We do not work for anyone. We are partnered with folks that are sponsoring us. So it's just, yes, Dallas.
We work for you guys listening. That's who we work for.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So like, yes, there have been in like the 10-year history, there's been like a couple work stoppages over contract situations. That's not going to be a thing moving forward. We are independent, and we will not be put in a position like that, hopefully ever again.
Yeah.
So,
and also before we go, let me just announce this too, Jared. Slab Lab will be up and running again in some capacity. All the socials, TikTok, Instagram, on X, on YouTube. It's just a matter of getting the season going. And once we get everything ironed out and worked out, Slab Lab will be up and popping again. I appreciate all the questions and support from that realm as well. So there you have it.
Jay, hey, final thoughts, Nugs?
Yeah, I'll do some rapid fire Nugs. Obviously, if you're interested in opening day stuff, I would just check my Twitter account. Mike Trout has 7 walks and 2 homers through 4 games. He's the 5th player in MLB history with 7 or more walks and 2 or more homers through 4 games. Mark McGwire and A-Rod in 2000 were the last people to do that. Sal Stewart is one of 4 players in the wild card era to have at least 7 hits, with 4 of those being extra bases, and at least 3 walks through the first 3 games of the season, joining Sean Green in 2003, Miguel Cabrera in 2007, and Jock Peterson in 2019. Andrew McCutchen homered yesterday, 333rd of his career. That breaks a tie with Moises Alou and Bobby Bonds on the all-time list. Homers in 3 straight games to start a career for Murakami, who I'm sure we'll get to on Wednesday in a more robust way. Him and DeLauder in 2026, Kyle Lewis in 2019, and Trevor Story in 2016. Aaron Judge's homer was his 370th. He broke a multi-way tie with Todd Helton, Ralph Kiner, and Manny Machado. So some 4 current or future Hall of Famers right there. He's now tied with Gil Hodges. The Giants are the 2nd team in Major League Baseball history to lose their first 3 games of the season all at home while scoring no more than 1 run, joining the 2016 Padres. That team went on to win 68 games, if anybody's curious. The White Sox are the only team. The White Sox, by that debut game, that first game that I was privileged enough to watch at Jared's house, that is just about, from an aesthetics perspective, that's just about as bad as an opening day product can be. They are the only team in Major League Baseball history to have a game, not an opener, a game where they struck out 20 or more times as an offense, got 4 or fewer hits as an offense, and issued 10 or more walks as a pitching staff. So think about what that was like to watch. The years in MLB history where multiple players age 21 or younger reached base 4 or more times on opening day. Roman Anthony and McGonigal this season. Ken Griffey Jr. and Delino DeShields back in 1990 are the only other instances of that. Again, I'll point you to the Twitter page if you want more. The last thing I'll say, my final thought is Jason Hayward hung up the spikes officially, and obviously I think he'll be most known for the 2016 World Series speech, but not to be lost in that is just how good of a player Jason Hayward was. And you can say wins above replacement overrated Jason Hayward earlier in his career. I don't really care if you say that, because the numbers are what they are. Here is an incomplete list of players who were less productive in their careers by B-WAR than Jason Hayward, who finishes with 41.5 wins above replacement. Catfish Hunter, Anthony Rizzo, David Price, Albert Bell, Dave Parker, and Harold Baines. There are multiple Hall of Famers on that list, and multiple people who are at the very, very tippy top of the Hall of Very Good. I think Jason Hayward was not as good as any of those players ultimately, but I do think that speaks to just how good he was, particularly for the first 6 or 7 years of his career, and tip of the cap on the career. So those are my final thoughts. Also, thank you to the listeners as well. I won't go on about that. You guys have covered it, but it was certainly appreciated on my end as well.
Dallas, final thoughts?
Just really looking forward to a season that I think is going to give some very unexpected results. And by unexpected, I mean exciting. We have our chalk picks. We have our predictions and expectations for some of the stalwarts in the game. But I think, again, with some of the conversations we were having about the Rookie of the Year potential, that we are going to see guys come up, make impacts, last the impacts. They're not just going to be flashes for a month or two. I think we're going to see some absolute studs across the board. And I am very, very excited about those types of performances this year because, frankly, the younger the game gets, the more exciting the players get. I think about the sustainability and the growth of the game of baseball. And I have never been more excited about it. And I want you guys to hold me responsible, hold me accountable for the times that I start to get pissed off, angry, and start thinking about and talking about 2027 in a negative light. And I want you to just digitally slap me across the face and tell me to get my fucking mind right. And remember what you said on the first podcast back about how excited you were about the game. Stop all that negative talk. So I'm giving you the reins right now to do so because this game has never been in a better place. I've never been more excited, not only about the team that I have the privilege and honor to watch each and every day, but the guys that we go up against, the guys that we get to play every day. So I wish everybody a wonderful 2026 season. I hope your team does great. Just not quite as good as my team does. And I'm forever thankful for the opportunity we have to sit down together and talk baseball, boys. It's a true treat.
And then last but not least, Dallas, my final thought is I think I'm a little bit of a traitor. Because as part of the Patreon that we will be incorporating for BID, we've already rolled it out for Section 10. There's a live subscribers only game chat in the Discord. So it's completely powered through Discord. It's a private Discord for subscribers only. And I will say it was popping. We got it rolled out for the Saturday and Sunday games over the weekend. And trust me, Dallas, It's different. It's different for BID because those people are actively trying to fuck us. Like those people are trying to fuck us for Family Feud. But over the weekend, it's just like it's a breath of fresh air because they're subscribing to be in there. So it weeds out all the dickheads on like Twitter. It's like there was just no negativity. It was just everyone was just vibing. We were just watching baseball. Everyone was in there talking during the game. Like it was a nice time.
Will I have a screen name if I join the Discord?
Yeah, it would be Dallas Braden or something like that. It's gonna be your name.
I can't change it. I can't be in there as like definitely not Dallas Braden.
I mean, yeah, you could be if you wanted to. Yeah.
But then we'll see.
Yeah, I think
but
that
you reek of fucking treason right now. I just want you to know that.
I understand that, but I got kids to feed, and it was actually a really good time. I've enjoyed it. So I'm building as part of the new office space that I'm going to be setting up at the new house. I'm going to have like a 49-inch curved monitor that'll have the game that we're watching for the stream. It's going to have the chat on YouTube, and it's going to have like Baseball Savant. But then I'm getting a vertical screen that's just always going to have Discord on it. So no matter what I'm doing, if I need to switch screens on the monitor, there's literally a screen that's specifically dedicated to the Discord live game chats. So yeah, we'll probably roll that out for BID as well. And I'll just be hopping back and forth between like the Red Sox game chat and the national BID game chat. So that'll be fun. I believe our Discord people are probably going to be excited about that if we can even get Dallas in there for like a hot second. Would you agree, Justin Havens?
Oh yeah, I know my people will be very excited to welcome Dallas in.
Yeah, like we're basically we're walking into it's a
lion's den.
I'll make sure everybody's very well prepped.
Yeah.
No. Well,
we'll see how that
definitely not
goes.
Dallas Braden.
Definitely not Dallas Braden. Be on the lookout for him in the discourse. But yeah, I'm excited for this year. There's going to be a ton of new content. And just to reiterate from earlier in the pod, everything that to be free, that has been free in the past, will remain free. Anything that is part of the Patreon as a subscriber fee, that's all bonus content. So we're cooking that up. Hopefully have something to you as soon as possible. All right. Thank you guys for your patience. Just want to make that perfectly clear. We understand how it's shitty for us too, but I understand, it's part of your routine. We apologize for the hiatus. It wasn't our call, but we're back. We're here 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday during the season. And we're very excited to deliver you the best baseball content on the internet for the 2026 season. We'll see you tomorrow night for Just the Nuts. See you then.
We don't.